So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne. So you wanna be my enemy? You should've known I'd never kiss the rain. Ice runs in my veins, won't play it safe. I don't belong with your nobility. Who died and made you king of anything? You think that I'm insane, it's your mistake. Kingdoms rise and fall, I've come to take it all. I'll take it, I've come to take it. Kingdoms rise and fall, I've come to take it all. I'll take it all. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. Coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne. They'll be calling me, calling me. They'll be calling me royal.
going on, folks? Will Stewart here. It's another Friday night THFC Rants show. Hope everybody out there is doing great. It's been a busy week, man. Been a busy week for Tottenham Hotspur. We've got Richarlson. Richarlson is here. Clement Lenglet as well. Looks like it is a done deal as well. All the things have been agreed. Just waiting on the official announcement for the most part. Spence seems to be a done deal as well. That's 6 signings in about 4 weeks. And yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a show. The link is pinned to the top of the chat if you want to join the stream. Feel happy to do so. Just click that link and come on in. We're just gonna be having a little chit chat about all of the different things that have been going on this week. But before we do that, let's set the goals for the stream. We are right now, as I speak, I think we are, let's see. We are at 1,983 subscribers coming into this show. So let's try to get that up to at least 1990. We'd like to hit 2K tonight, but if we don't, it's understandable. Let's make sure we get it up to 1990. So that's 7 subscribers this stream. So if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you do so. Also, too, the like target for tonight's stream is 100 likes. So there's 45 of you watching the show right now. Make sure you smash that like button. It only takes 5 seconds to do. So let's get that like count up to 100 tonight. Also, too, it's at 25 already, by the way. Also, too, we want to hit up 5 new members on this stream. So if you aren't a member of the channel already, member perks, discounts on THFCRants.com, access to the members only streams that are going to be starting next week. You also get to be a mod in the chat and all of that good stuff. So memberships start at 99 cents. Click on that Levy level membership right now at the very least. Let's get that. You could let's get those memberships up to at least 5 for this stream. So those are the targets for today's stream. So make sure you guys help me out with that. It would be a great help and support for the channel and the show. Big up to all of our members here at THFC Rants. Let's give all the members a big shout out real quick. The members are, we've got our General Ellie Kukuratos is the general. We got captains here. Sean Stewart, my little bro, is there as well. We've also got Williams Celts. So if you are of the Celtic persuasion, we've got a level membership for you. And Williams Celts are as follows. Let's see here. Let me sort this by membership level. Current level, we've got AMZO is a Williams Celt. We've also got Wayne Bonner as a Williams Celt. That's all the Celts right now, I think. Yeah. Then we've got the Williams Rangers. That's kind of like the main level membership for the channel is Williams Rangers. We got quite a few Williams Rangers. That one starts in, I do believe, at $3.99 or $4.99 a month. And that's in US dollars. We got Brian Daigle, Amir Sadir, Ronin Kumar, Matthew THFC Collins, David, John Langford, Yunez, Scott M, David Jones, Tony Go, Danny Kiriakou, and then the newest level, just so everybody has a chance to be a member on the channel. We've got the Levy level. We got C Cubed, Phil P, Gina Kim, Mark Woodland, Jason Grove, Samuel Grom, Alejandro Perez, Bobby K, Shane B. We've also got Raymond Grovey, Jakjit Rawat. That is the 27 members. We'd like to get that at least up to 32 members by the end of the show, which will help us to have a really good audience for our members only streams, where we show you guys exclusive content over there for the members. So make sure you join that today. One other further announcement before we get the show rolling, start bringing in the guests. Remember, the link is pinned to the top. If you'd like to join, just click it and come on in. I've taken some time to design some new merchandise. All of the old merchandise that was on THFCRants.com is now gone. And we have a new series that we're going to be doing. I'm going to be doing kind of like limited runs where I do a design on a shirt, other than like the channel stuff. That'll probably stay up the whole time. But we're going to be doing special like collections that we do up on the show that are up there for a limited time. So if you like it, make sure that you get ahead and get yourself one. But let me show you guys here some of the new stuff that we've got here on THFCRants.com. Let me share that screen real quick. Boom, there it is. Share that puppy. So we've got, I'm going to bring this full screen up here for you guys to see. We have, this is what I'm calling the SHM7 collection in both dark and light. This is a design that I made up celebrating Son Heung-min's Golden Boot season. So you get this here. I think the shipping can come from the United States or the UK. It depends. Make sure you check each item beforehand to see what you got. But in this collection, you can see it's got his name out there. A little bit of a silhouette of himself, plus 21-22 Golden Boot 23 goals. So that's in celebration of that. All the different products that come in this line, there's quite a bit. If you need a carry bag, if you're a lady, we do have some ladies that watch the stream. You can get yourself a canvas shopping bag, carry bag with that as well. Then if we go over to the light section, you can get that here in white, black and white. You got jumpers and t-shirts and sweatshirts or whatever you guys call it in your particular area. As well, made that into a sweet little hat as well for Iggy. Iggy, you're gonna have to get yourself one of those. Also, two little clutch bags and stuff like that for the ladies. Make sure if you're interested in that, you go ahead and go on over there. And then we also have up on there with the new logo, just branded stuff, mugs, water bottles, t-shirts, pint glasses, sweatshirts, tumblers, wine tumblers. You can get yourself some flip-flops, some slides, stickers, pillows, just all kinds of crazy stuff with my bald head on it. So if you guys are interested in that, you can go ahead and head over to THFCRants.com and pick that stuff up. Some products are only shipped in the United States, so it may be a long time. It might take a long time to do that. But you also have some of the items, I would say good, especially on the Son Heung-min collection. Majority of the items will also have a UK shipper, so it shouldn't take that long. You'll be able to order in that worldwide shipping all that good stuff. If you're a member, check your member perks. You do get, I think if you're at the Williams Celts or higher level, you do get a discount code for all purchases over there at THFCRants.com. Yeah. And that's right. CQC dudes need bags like that too. That's true, man. I do. I actually have several of those that I usually take to trade shows and stuff like that for me to carry stuff, just quick carries. Hey, it could be a match day bag if you do stuff like that. But let's say hello to the people in the chat. First comment of the night was from George Longstaff. Alexander Hilton here. Steak. What he always says. Perchy was in the house. Carl Simpson, big up yourself as well. El Said, big up to you, my friend. There's the link if you want to join the show. Right now, we only have one guest sitting in the back waiting, so make sure that you do that. E.G. Young, we Koreans love you, Will. 저도 사랑합니다. 저도 여러분들 사랑합니다. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Jungju, big up Will, big up yourself. Carl Simpson, how many off 2K? I need right now. Let's see. Right now we have got to 2K. Sorry, I gotta pull up the live studio in order to see the current count. Still 1,983. We need to get that to 1,990 subscribers by the end of the show. So the 63 of you, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. David says, 안녕하세요, Will Hyung, 안녕하세요. That's right. If you're looking at that, we'll be talking about that. I've been entering. I've decided to throw my hat into the Twitter space ring. That's been an interesting thing. So far, I've only had to call somebody a bigot twice. But I'm sure the Twitter world will soon learn. We got Genji Spur here. Big up, Will. Hope you're doing well. I am doing well. Hope you guys are doing well. Shamu Van Spurs. Long time no see, my friend. I'm glad to see you back in the chat. Very much glad to see that. Custom Spoons. I'm liking the gas mask logo there. For reasons some people know, it's also a thing that's close to my heart as well. So 6 players in already, and it's July. Let's try to get to the people who have it, our first time commenters, because I'm with all the talk and shut, we're 20 minutes in and I haven't even gotten some people in yet. So we got Ante Young. Good morning. It's a comfortable Saturday morning. Yes, it is early for you over there in the South Korea. 7:30 in the AM in South Korea. THFC Brown, big up yourself, my man. Aaron Dubb's in the house. Big up Aaron Dubb. Carl Simpson. C Cubed as well. Full Bull. Bobby K's in the chat. Ron Vignac, Tempest, Fugit, or Fugget. Wayne Francis is in the house. I thought that was going to be one of those. The last half of that looks like one of those porn things, but it's not. Big up, Wade. Tommy Castillo's in the house. Alejandro Perez. What happened to Mexico's U20 team, my friend? That's what I want to know. Big up, Alejandro. Philly's in the house. US. Ben Kaufman. And everybody, Ben Kaufman has joined the memberships. When I finally get there, I'm going to add that to that. I'll bring that up on screen as well. But that's one down. 4 more memberships to go for this stream. 4 memberships, 7 subscribers, and 100 likes. There's 73 of you watching the show right now. So make sure you hit that like button. Elias is here. Big up, Elias. He asks, what's up? Not much, my friend. Just came to hang out and talk with the people out in the YouTubes. Mark Swift, big up Mark Swift. Mark Swift, huge supporter of the channel. And me as an individual, always on Twitter, always following me around from stream to stream that I go on, and bugging everybody in the chat to subscribe to the channel. So thank you very much for that, Mr. Mark Swift. Let's see, who else have I not given a shout out to yet in the comments? There's Ben Kaufman with his new membership. Make sure you get a membership in. Hit that join button down. If you're watching on your phone and you want the link, let me know, and I'll throw that link out there for you. Remember, you can start you at least got to be at the Levy level, right? It's a Tottenham Hotspur stream. If you're a Tottenham Hotspur fan, you got to at least be at the Daniel Levy level at 99 cents. I mean, that's like what, 65 pence a month? Come on, you can do it. You can do it. I believe in you. Who else do we got here? Stelios, what's up, Will? What's up to you, Stelios, my brother from another mother? Let's see, who else did I have not? Just Flies in the house. Richarlson, proven Prem, Brazilian international. We are starting to march. I agree with you. KPV is in the house. Kyle Patrick Vineyard, what's going on, my friend? Tony Go, who's also a member. Everybody, if you are a member, go ahead and throw us a shout out there if you're in the chat. Where did my chat window go? There it is. Let's see. Stelios. Who else? David, Stelios, Shamu, Van Spurs, Ben Kaufman, Alejandro. That's all of it for today. So let's start to bring in the guests that we got in the back and get the show rolling and all of that good stuff. Let's bring him in. The first guest of the night. You know him. You love him. Coming in to talk about Richarlson, the pigeon, doing the twerk all the way over there in Brazil. My favorite Brazilian and yours, Tiago's in the house, doing the pigeon. What's going on, man? A little twerk action there too at the end.
Lazy pigeon dance, man. Pigeon dance today. We move.
Pigeon dance today. Is there a pigeon twerk maybe where you just...
Unfortunately,
that would be a difficult one. It's kind of like patting your head and rubbing your stomach, right? That would be a difficult one. Let's see, we got Ricky's in the house too. Welcome, Ricky. Welcome, Ricky. Welcome, Ricky. But come on, if that's not worth 76 likes, just that on that entrance alone, that introduction alone, I don't know what is. So people out there in the YouTube world, make sure you smash that like button. How you been, man?
Good. Even better now that we have another Brazilian in the club. You know, the last few ones haven't been the best. I think the last one we signed, everybody can see is not good enough. But this one is different. He's on a high. He's on a good moment in his career. He's only going up. He's not like an outcast in the club and just happened to go in for him. You know, the main man for Everton, main man for keeping them in the Premier League. So I'm happy. We got
one more guest in the back. I'm glad you're happy. We got one more guest in the back who we've been working on some stuff. Let me figure out before I bring him in. Let me remember where things are. Nope, that's not it. Okay, now I remember where it is. But your thoughts on Richarlson real quick before we bring in our next guest.
A good signing. 50 million raising to 60 million. Too much for him, in my opinion. But I think with time will be a signing he's going to get paid with his performances and goals. He's going to come and fight with Kane, Son, and Kulusevski for a place in the team. And hopefully Conte can, You know, just as he polished Romero, he can do the same with Richarlson.
Good deal. My thing is frozen. If you don't know who's coming in now, you should know. Sean from Spurs Talk Show is in the house, everyone. How you doing, Sean?
Good, Will. What's happening, Tiago? I thought I was going to get the...
Oh my gosh! I had it. I just didn't click the routing. So with my system, and I'm still out of focus again. I don't know why I keep going out of focus.
Drop me out, bro. Do it the right way.
I'll drop it in and bring you out. So one more take on the Sean intro. Then I'll explain why I goofed that one. So here we go, all the way from the UK. Sean.
Welcome.
That's right. Welcome, Sean. Add him to the stream. Sean is in the house.
Welcome.
How you doing tonight, my man?
That's so cool. I'm really good, man. How you doing?
I'm good. My Go XLR, I have to, when I do changes on things, I have to save it. If I don't save it, whenever I restart my computer, it automatically goes back to the last time that I did it. So I had it all rearranged that one night when we were past stream, and then I reset my computer, so I had to find out where they were at, and I forgot to save it. I hate it when you have to save things.
You got them, though. You got them now. And
I do. I got it.
You've also tuned that audio clip to the right tune, it's like the right song as well. So it doesn't sound out of focus. It's nice.
Yeah, we've got. It's also too. We have. I was gonna say something too, but I forgot. I can't remember now. It'll come back to me. It always does. But we've also got another guest wanting to come in and join us. You guys know him as well. I need to come up with a song for just him that's got some voiceovers in it as well. I'll have to work on that this week. But Alexander Hilton, otherwise known as Steak in the house.
In the building.
Is that some carne asada? I don't know what that is, but
That's steak.
isn't that what steak is?
Carne asada is not here. It's churrasco.
But how do you say steak in Portuguese, Tiago?
Filet.
Filet? We have filet mignon. That's French, I think. Who else have I mastered the pigeon yet? No, I don't think I've mastered the pigeon yet. But you've been streaming a lot today, Sean, over there doing quizzes and
Yeah, I was doing the pigeon when I just beat Sim and Ben with the young fella Jack Burford from
Spurs related.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't know, bro. I don't know if I can do this, James. And I was like, I'm not that good. And Jack came in and Jack was awesome. Jack knew a lot of his stuff. But we beat Ben and Sim on a tiebreaker. So I'm pretty happy with how the evening went.
Yeah, good deal. But we do have about 75 people watching the show on all places. So if we get into the chat, if you have something that you want to say, you can do that with a super chat. You can also, too, after the show is processed and uploaded on YouTube, you can hit it with a super thanks. It's a little heart with a $sign in the middle. So make sure you guys take advantage of that if you want to help the channel out. Where are we at on the likes? Where are we at on the likes for this show right now? We are on, I don't even know, man. I've got my stuff all messed around. But Mr. Sean, 2 new signings basically
Yeah.
3 pretty much done for the most part. The Jed Spence one, there's not. They say it's done. The paperwork's been done. They're just waiting on the final signatures or something between the 2 clubs.
What's the second one?
Lenglet.
Oh, is it confirmed? Is it?
Yeah, today, man. Done deal. Here we go.
Oh wow!
So,
I hadn't
Heavy
seen
steak.
Listen,
On
Will,
loan.
me and you and Kuba spent a lot of time figuring out whether this guy's got any stats that are worthy of getting a little bit less pessimistic than the average person who just has followed him at Barcelona, and it seems to have been a worthwhile endeavor. I feel like I've talked a lot about his stats over the last week. What are your thoughts on him, man?
안녕하세요. And only 60 likes. We got to get that up to 100. So there's 78, 90 people, 80 people watching right now. So make sure you get up to 100 likes real quick. 10 people just jumped into the stream. So make sure you smash that like button. On Lenglet, I'm optimistic. I thought the level of delusion on YouTube was unbearable at times.
What about how bad he was?
No, but I mean, I'm just in general when we're talking about football in general. But man, Twitter Spaces, dude, that's a whole another world of irrationality. Woo. So yeah, people have a lot of recency bias. They take the last 18 months over at Barcelona and they judge the player based on that. Yes, he is responsible for the things that he's done, but there's a player in there that, you know, when your whole club basically turns against you, it's going to affect the way that you play on the pitch. And Barcelona in general has been struggling all over for the last 18 months. That too, and it's kind of the same logic, and I don't understand that people aren't giving him a shake when he has when he's been playing in a completely different system, playing almost like a Liverpool type back four, right? High up the pitch, way up there. Kind of has to be able to be fast to get back. We all know Ben Davies is in the speed demon. And in a back three, in a Conte system with, you know, Basuma helping you out, with Perisic helping you out, with Son even helping you out. I don't see that Lenglet's negatives, the negative aspects of his game, right? The fact that he's kind of slow, not that great in the air, has a hard time maybe tracking back sometime. Those things aren't going to be as big of an issue in our system as they are for him at Barcelona. In my opinion, I think the stats back me up on that as well. And the benefits that this guy has over Ben Davies are big benefits.
One of the best passes.
Yeah, I mean, not even little benefits. I'm talking big benefits, right? Some of those balls, those through balls, something like 6 through balls from a center back.
Yeah. 5.9 into the progressive, whatever it was, right? Progressive distance carries per 90. And he had like the progressive yards that he was hitting were just insane. Like 3 times as many as Ben Davies from memory. It was madness.
Yeah, look, and Elias says you went from Bastoni to Lenglet. Look, Bastoni, I would, from an age point of view, from an up and coming guy with a ceiling and stuff like that. Bastoni, of course, would be somebody who I would rather go out and get. But right now, it looks like, from all intents and purposes, Bastoni's not a player that's going to be available for us to go out and get this season. So we need to stop, you know, pining over players that aren't possibilities and, you know, use our rational minds to move on to the next person. But I just think that there's this recency bias with things, and people can't make arguments for or against the player, because if your argument is he was crap the last 18 months at Barcelona, well, we're not Barcelona. We don't play the same system that Barcelona plays. We don't play the same way that Barcelona plays. So there's no reason why he can't be a player at Tottenham Hotspur, because we all know the quality is there. And so, like us, I think it was C cubed, with the little joking banter, because everybody knows I like to throw Brian Hill under the bus every chance I get. Like there's a player in Hill. No, because Brian Hill hasn't shown there's a player in Brian Hill ever. Right? Other than a guy who can dribble and tackle, he's never shown any aptitude for anything. Ever. So it's a different you're comparing apples to oranges. Lenglet at Sevilla was amazing. Lenglet was touted as being one of the best defenders in the world at that switch. His first year at Barcelona was exceptional. First year, 2 years at Barcelona were exceptional. So there's a really, really good defender buried under some, I think, some junk that is Barcelona.
Just thrown in Barcelona because he came in, he was kind of a backup, but then Umtiti gets injured and he starts playing. And at the time, Umtiti was one of the best defenders in the world before his injuries. Yeah. So the fact that he came in and kept the same level shows that there is a player in him. Maybe there's also PTSD from Emerson coming from Barcelona. I don't know. But hopefully it works out better for us this time.
So we got Ellie's in the house. Brian Daigle's in the house. Apparently he's been feeling under the weather. I hope you get better soon.
Well, if we get Spence and Lenglet in, do you think we'll get any more players in? Or would that be it?
I think we will. I think there it's looking like now, and I can't believe I'm saying this, that we're probably going to get about 8, I think, this summer. I think that's, if I were to hedge my bets, that would be what we're looking to do. I think we'll probably go for one more center back, maybe another right wing back, or maybe another, I don't know, man. I think Paratucci's just out there buying. We haven't spent a lot of money. Something like £95 million is all we've spent right now so far, gross. And with what Lenglet, that doesn't add to that total. And then you've got Jed Spence coming in. So if him at £15 million, that put us at 105. Right. So if this is supposed to be the big blockbuster window that everybody touted it to be, we haven't even exceeded. Look, for me to say that we've actually gone out and spent a lot. Now we've brought in a lot of players on good deals. So I think that if Conte's happy, if he sticks around for the whole season, I would say that he's been backed. Right. For example, apparently Lenglet, Conte had to call him and to try to convince him to come. Right. So I think that, but for me to say that we've gone out and just blown the wheels off the place, we've got to go past that 150-pound mark that they injected. Otherwise, I don't understand. I don't think that we shouldn't have been able to spend $100 million in the transfer without any incomings or outgoings being added to that. By the way, I don't see why we shouldn't have been able to spend £100 million this summer anyway. What are your thoughts on that, Sean?
I don't think we've done spending yet.
Yeah, I'm just saying. His question was if it was done, like if Jed Spence is the last, if Jed Spence is the last signing, do we sign any more? Right? Like, but if that's the last one, you're talking about 110 million pounds, right? So
I'll be disappointed if I'm honest. Look, I had a massive debate, funny as hell debate on my channel a couple of days ago with Kuva and Danny Kiriakou, and we were laughing about like the difference between how we think the window's gone. And at the time, I would have said like at that point in time that the window was going really, really well. Those guys were basing it on like, how if it stayed like it was, how would it finish? If it finished like that, what would you give it out of 10? It's just a difference of understanding of the question. But my numbers actually come. I'm not that mad about Richarlson. I'm sorry, Thiago. I know you're a big fan of him. I know he's your compatriot, but like, I don't understand spending 60 million quid on him. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. I'll get behind the guy, but it's not that particularly interesting. Lenglet, as much as the stats look good, and it makes sense if we're going to try and build a profile or a case to go and get someone better next summer or in January. I understand it, but thus far, the only transfer that really gets me excited is Basuma, and Perisic is obviously can do a job as well. But if our right wing back option is if we stop after getting in Spence, I don't know how I feel about it, Will. I don't know, because I don't know when Richarlison's going to play and where he's going to play. I still maintain, I think that Harry Kane will have a massive problem sacrificing
He's going to have to learn, though. Like, I think that's the thing. If we want to be a trophy, if you look at every team that wins trophies on the regular, all of them have a high level of rotation. And so if we want to win, I think Conte just needs to sit Kane down, say, I love you, buddy. But if you want to win trophies, your ass is going to have to sit on the bench sometime. You're going to have to warm some pine, as we like to say here in the United States.
I get it, but I just don't think it's a lottery ticket. It's as much of a lottery ticket to me how Jed Spence will turn out. We know we've seen him play twice well against Premier League teams in the FA Cup. We don't know anything more about him than that, and that's a lottery ticket for me in a really important position. And so I'm okay with him coming in if Conte gets all that nonsense. But hopefully we've got something better to do there. But I also would say it's a lottery ticket to see how approachable Harry Kane and Heung-min Son are going to be to the idea of sacrificing minutes. I don't think you're going to see Richard. I think all you're going to see initially is Kulusevski, who has less brownie points and less kudos and less wins in the bag, just like last season when Lucas Moura came on for him before Bergwijn came on for Son. Not because Lucas Moura deserved the opportunity, but because Bergwijn was Son's replacement and Son had more wins in the bag, and I understand why that was. But I think all you're going to see is Richarlison is naturally going to be the initial step in for Kulu. And I'll be very surprised. I'm going to be interested. For me, it's an interesting one. I don't know how it's going to work out, but I want to see whether or not Richarlison actually gets minutes for Harry Kane or minutes for Son. Because I don't know how it's going to figure out.
I will be disappointed not only in Conte as a manager, but also the players themselves, Son included, right? You got Mr. Will over here, who's Son Heung-min's #1 fan.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Son without any injuries. If Son had no injuries,
of course, injuries to one side. That's a variable.
He shouldn't play more than 30 league games next season.
Okay.
30 league games.
Well, participate in.
Yeah, start. Right.
So
if he comes off the bench for like the last 20-30 minutes, I'm not counting that, but starting. So he should start. He should not. Son Heung-min and Harry Kane both, Kulu as well, should not start more than 30 games in the league next season.
All other things being equal. Okay.
All other things, yeah.
And I don't believe that. I hear you and I agree with you. If we're going to spend 60 million, which is essentially a club record signing, I know Ndombele was a little bit more, but essentially it's a club record signing. I don't believe that's going to happen.
But I'm saying it should happen. Whether it happens or not is up to to see in the future. The likelihood of it may be. I think for me it's a flip of the coin. But I think that it should be like Conte, because that's what Conte's trying to do. Even with Lenglet, for example, too. Perisic, for example, too. All of these guys who should be our starters should get about 30 games in the league if the league is our primary focus, right? Because they're also going to get 10 to 15 matches in the Champions League if we do well, right? If we're lucky. So that's a 50 matches, 45, 50 matches a season. In a season where we're going to have effectively almost 60 matches if we go deep into every single cup competition. I have heard this narrative, though, lately that's more than last season. It's not, because we were in Europe last season. We just exited early because we got kicked out because we couldn't make the match. But the potential amount of games this season are the same as last season.
Yeah.
But for us, this is the way that our team needs to be organized if we want to compete deep into all of those competitions. It's Harry Kane and Son, both of them, because Son hates sitting on the bench too.
Yeah,
he really does. He gets pissed. That's the only time you see someone without a smile on his face is when he's taking off, right? So they need to be okay with taking a break against teams like, you know, Nottingham Forest or Everton or, you know, those types of bottom table teams. Throwing a little shade Everton's way. Those are the teams that they need to be sitting on the bench for. They need to let Richarlson go out there and handle his business. Not all of them, right? Harry Kane can play against them sometimes. Son can play. You know, maybe swap a Kane Son from home and away, right? You sit one at Burnley, or the Burnley's relegated, but one Nottingham Forest match. I'll sit one Nottingham Forest match. There's got to be a way. And Conte, this is up to Conte because Conte is the boss, so it's really down to him. I don't. If Conte's the strong manners that we think he is, it doesn't matter if Harry Kane wants to or not. Conte will just say, "You're sitting on the bench today." So
yeah. But I hear you. I hear in principle, it sounds like it makes sense. And this is not me, you know, pissing on the fire, like, you know, of any of the things we're doing, because I think it's been a really, on paper, a superb window so far. I would just say, I don't remember Harry Kane being substituted last season. I know that the answer is, well, there was no one that could have come on for him. But when you're 4-0 up against Leeds away in the 85th minute, when you're 5-0 up against Everton at home, when you're 5-1 up against Newcastle home or away, when you're 6-0 up against Norwich and there's 85 minutes on the clock and it doesn't matter anymore, and you still see Harry Kane complete all 90 minutes, I feel like there is a potential. I'm not trying to put a negative slant on this, but I just felt there's a potential ticking time bomb on that. He hasn't signed a new contract yet, and he's going to have his desires to win team trophies next year for sure. But he's also going to want to win his individual medals. He can't have been happy that Sonny got his golden boot last year and Harry Kane didn't. I think it's a potential banana skin for the squad. And even if Harry Kane gets his way and Richarlison doesn't get that much game time, then you've got a potential banana skin in Richarlison, who isn't known for holding back with his opinions and his personality. So it's just going to be an interesting dilemma, and I hope that Conte's got the chops to figure it out.
Well, that's where the
money comes in. Yeah.
That's where the buck stops, right? Is that Conte? So it says, does Conte have the sack, right? So it gets down to his decision, because I can tell you right now, if Harry Kane had gone to City, he wouldn't be playing 38 games a season. That's for damn sure. So there's no, and if Son were ever to go off to Real Madrid or Liverpool, he wouldn't be playing, 35, 36, 37 games a season either. So, and I just think too, with the World Cup, I think you actually might see Harry Kane wanting to rest more, right? Maybe all of them, because none of them want to get injured before going off to the World Cup. So they all want to keep their fitness. None of them want to be burnt out. Before, and the fact that all three of those players, Richarlison, Son, and Kane, are all starters for their national teams. There's probably going to be, I think, a fairly significant rotation there, especially before the World Cup. After the World Cup, that's probably when you'll see more bickering about playing time. But before the World Cup, I think people will want to play to stay sharp, but they don't want to overdo themselves. They'll want to have breaks themselves, stuff like that. So, but
can I ask you a question then quickly before you move on to something else? If you were to take a hazarded guess right now, if we're gonna assume that Tottenham play 50 games next season, just as a round number, ballpark number, how many starts do you think Richarlison has? How many substitute appearances do you think he gets? And how many goals and assists do you think he could bring in for those numbers?
In all competitions or just the league?
50 games. So all competitions.
All competitions.
Let's just assume 50 as a ballpark figure.
So I would say Richarlison will probably get 30 games.
30 starts or 30 appearances?
I think he starts or appears in most of those. I think 30. Yeah, I want to see him get at least, you know, 16 to 20 games in the league as a starter. And then when you talk about cup competitions, I think he plays most of the cup competitions as at number 10, just like Vinicius did. If you remember under Jose Mourinho, Kane probably hardly featured at all in the cup competitions. And you know, Vinicius bagged, you know, almost 10 goals and 11 goals in all competitions. But so I see Richarlson starting every single cup competition that we've got, except for obviously not the Champions League. That's going to be one that they do. But I think two different teams, I see him getting minutes in that as well, because that's what he's going to want to do, is play some minutes in that as well. But because he hasn't before.
Okay, you're more optimistic than I am. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong, but I worry about the dynamic. You know,
I'm gonna add something to this, and also you can rotate the into a 5 midfield with Basuma in the middle, and have 2 up front.
Yeah, but none of those. But Sonny, Kane, or Richarlison aren't going to fit into the 5, right? One of those is going to be sacrificed if you do go to a 3-5-2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it comes down to Conte. I mean, Ventus says Conte's not an idiot. I don't think it's a matter of him being an idiot. It's just a matter of where the buck stops, right? So, I mean, if it's going to be his choice, right? Because who plays, who doesn't play, when they are subbed, when they're not subbed, all up to him. So it's just going to be whether he sees it, if he trusts. Now, if Richarlison comes in and doesn't earn Conte's trust up top, then I don't think he gets subbed in for Kane, right? I think it's a trust issue. If he shows him in training, if he shows him when he gets the opportunities to play that he can trust him to play that way, like you don't see of course you're going to see a drop in performance, but if you don't see a big one, then I think Conte plays him more than we think. So
okay. Yeah, it's fair. It's fair. I understand why. I understand where everyone else's take is on it. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
Because after the World Cup, you are going to see significant numbers of injuries, especially from players who go deep into it.
Yeah.
If England go deep into the competition, although they'll most likely get knocked out in the group stages,
it's coming home. Like
but if they do go deep into the competition, they're going to. I think you'll see injuries, stuff like that. I mean, just look at how all the England internationals were fell off in every team after the Euros this past year. I mean, I can't remember a single player who started the majority of those minutes in the Euros who did well in the first half of last season.
Reece James?
He was injured.
Oh, yeah.
I can't think of a single one, man. All of them kind of had it took them a long time to get into it. Jack Grealish was poor. Kane was poor. Sterling was poor in the first half of the season.
John Stones,
did he even play this year?
I thought he did.
I don't remember. But Foden was slow to get rolling. Bukayo Saka might be the only one, I think, but he didn't play a whole lot in the Euros.
Pickford.
I don't think you could say Pickford was good the first half of the season. But I just think that there's going to be a lot of things going on there. So I think Richarlison is going to have some opportunity to play there. I think you probably see another hamstring. I think you probably see Son out for a month this season.
Yeah.
Kane doesn't have any muscular issues. His stuff's all about his ankle. So as long as he doesn't get an ankle, shebang ring at some point, I think.
Do you want to see us get a bigger, like, if you were to, let's presume that there's enough money to go and get a Mark. Oh, actually, I'm going to save that question. I'll save the question I was going to ask. I'm going to ask you this one instead, and I would like to hear the other guys' thoughts on it as well. Would you be happy if the window finished and that Richarlison was the marquee signing? or do you want us to go and sign someone with a bigger name, or do you? Even
I think Perisic is the marquee for me.
Okay, okay, interesting. Yeah, fair enough.
I think I find it hilarious, to be honest, that the Perisic is being overlooked so easily by like everybody.
Yeah, because he's a free transfer, and everyone thinks free means irrelevant, like insignificant.
No, I mean, I consider him world class as a wingback. I don't know any left wing backs better than Ivan Perisic.
Yeah,
I can't think of three.
Kostic had a better season than
8 goals, 7 assists, 30 something appearances. That's pretty dang good for me in my books.
Yeah, but then you
now,
could look
granted,
at,
I think 3 of those were from penalties or something like that. But so still, but 5 goals, 7 assists. I don't know. There's not many. The season before that, he only had 4 goals and 4 assists. But I think he was out more with injury that pro season of that. But if you look over the last 4 years, he's averaging 8 goals a season from that position. So it's. For me, that's.
I don't know.
One.
If you just look at the numbers, you could on the opposite side, you could say, well, Tavernier or Tavernier, however you want to say his name, he's the best right wing back in the world because he had 23 goals and 19 assists, right? But if you don't take into consider the context that
the league he played in Serie A.
Yeah, true. But what were the games that he scored against? What teams? I think he scored like 2 goals against a team that was bottom of the league as well. From memory,
I don't know. I'd have to go look at each fixture to see where his goals came from. But, I mean, for me, I don't peel the onion back that far. I tend to peel it back to the league you're playing in. So, for example, if somebody does, like, I'm not going to go nip even Gabriel Jesus. I think he scored 4 goals against Watford and then 2 goals against Southampton or some other team or something like that. So out of his 8 goals, only 2 of them came from teams that are worth.
Yeah, he scored in 4 games last season. Yeah, right. That's it.
Yeah, Gogama here with 10,001 super sticker. Big up, Gogama. Kamsamnida, Sarangamnida for the super chat.
I want us to sign Carrasco on the right wing.
Yeah,
right
he's
wing
interesting.
back.
He's interesting to me.
Yeah, and then too. So we've talked about Richarlson a little bit.
And Bremba.
Before we move from Richarlson on to Lenglet, anybody else? I mean, well, Thiago, what are your thoughts? Because a lot of people have been, hyping this up. I find it hilarious that most of the Brazilians that I've talked to, now granted, I don't know a lot, but I do know a few.
I'm a favorite though.
You are my favorite. I do prefer. Most of them prefer Richarlison over Gabriel Jesus, but all of the English guys that know ball are rating Jesus above Richarlison. Why do you think that is? And tell me why Brazilians rate Richarlison over Gabriel Jesus.
Well, there's first a real good reason. So back in 2018, we go into the World Cup, big time, best in the qualifiers, favorites. In comes Gabriel Jesus as our striker, 0 goals. Then he has a few good moments, fucks up in the Copa America final, got a red card. Richarlson saved our ass that game, by the way. After the final, he goes 1,062 days without a goal for Brazil. So there's a hot right there towards Gabriel Jesus. And I think it's more of a, I think English people tend to rate Gabriel Jesus better because of his record at Man City, the fact that he played for Guardiola and he's won the Premier League 4 times. But you can't really overlook the fact that in none of them he was really a main player in their team. Always in and out. He became a backup striker in a squad where he was the only striker. So, and you also can't overlook the fact that he had De Bruyne, Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, Sterling, Morris playing with him. Maybe you could say, well, but he's good enough to play with them. Richarlison isn't. That's why he's playing for Everton. Maybe, but Richarlison's doing a good job. He's been better for Brazil since he started as well. He's our starter. He's our center forward. which is where I hope he plays. With Conte, I think he has more potential there than on the wing. And, Brazilians tend to rate a lot the players based on the national team performance, and you cannot compare the two of them. Richarlson is miles better for us. He has worked much better in our system. And, the fact that he's doing a better job than Gabriel Jesus in the Everton side, which has been, threatened by relegation, it gives points to Richarlison. Also, with Gabriel Jesus, when he started for Palmeiras, we were like, okay, Ronaldo is back. We have the new number 9. And personally, I think Pep Guardiola killed it. I'm not saying he's a bad manager, but the way he uses his players, he's killed that number 9 thing in Gabriel Jesus. His end product with time.
I just think that it's funny like that, because if you looked at when Sergio Aguero was in his prime and playing well for Manchester City, no, I don't remember very many English people rating Gabriel Jesus then. It's only now since he's leaving that he's even really coming into the conversation, and I find that people are making up illogical, irrational arguments in order to make it sound as though he's a better player than he is. For example, nobody's going to say Ferran Torres is a great striker simply because he plays for City, right? That's an illogical argument. City can have players that don't perform well, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, but City like to spread their goals around." Only since Aguero left, right? That wasn't how they played then. Yes, they would spread them around at times, but they would score more goals. But you had Aguero who was getting 20 plus goals a season after season after season. And when Aguero left, this should have been Jesus' time to step into the spotlight. And he didn't. He couldn't. And Guardiola had to change the way the team played because they didn't have a striker. It's not the other way around. This isn't, people have this recency bias because over the last 18 months, City's had to play this well and they've been successful at it, that this is how they've always played. And that's not true. It's not true at all. And so you're saying this player is good. Gabriel Jesus is good because he played for City and he performed. He scored a goal in this game in the Champions League, and that goal. I mean, if you're a striker playing at this level, you should be able to score a goal. If you're blanking completely, and you're playing 20 plus games a season, you shouldn't be playing in the Premier League, right? I'm sorry, especially if you're playing on a team like City, where the chances that are being created are way more frequent.
Yeah,
right.
It's a tricky one to work out with Jesus because he did only score in 4 games last season in the Premier League, and you're right, like he is part of a team that creates more opportunities, and so comparing him like for like with Richarlison is a difficult one. However, you could also then reflect on the fact that he has scored, I think, like 93 goals in 170 games or whatever the stats are. So like his goal per game ratio and his total goal, I think he's the 3rd highest scorer for Manchester City in history. You can't. It's like I said this before on the football terrace. I was like, I think that the jury's out on Jesus. It's very difficult to kind of truly understand or truly recognize if he's a really good player, if he's a very good striker, or if he isn't. And I think if he goes to Arsenal, the jury will be able to finally come back with a verdict because he will play every game, and Arsenal are a better team where they're going to go through him, a better team to go through him and allow him to find his own path to success or failure. He's a difficult guy to judge because some people will say, well, he's part of Man City and therefore it's easy for him and he didn't do that well considering that. Other people would say, yeah, but Man City don't go through one player. They spread their excellence around. So I think that going to Arsenal will probably be the best way for everybody to know in a couple of years' time whether he was a good striker or not.
But do you think they'll do that now that Holland? See, this is the immediate self-contradiction that these people run into is they'll say City don't play that way. But then when you talk about Holland's going to bag 20, 25 goals in the league, right? Like, no, you don't get to have your cake and eat it too. Either City doesn't play through one person and they spread the love around, or they're going to play through one person and not. Holland's not going to get the opportunities to score.
Yeah.
And the reason why Richarlison's look, and you guys got to be careful about anytime you see a stat that's a graphic on Twitter with no source, just ignore it. Because that one with Gabriel Jesus being like the top 5 MPG plus A per 90, it's wrong. It's not even right. First of all, the numbers the numbers they have on there are completely wrong. They have like Thierry Henry at like 0.91 per 90. It's actually 0.94. Like, just go to FBref yourself, double check those graphics, because people will just make stuff up to lie, right? Or they have some bad source, or they saw somebody tweet something that didn't happen. Check something, double check something, check it again before you believe any graphic that isn't from, like, if you see if who scored, which I don't like that much, by the way, but say who scored puts their own thing out, or SofaScore puts their own. All of these pages have Twitter pages, and they'll put these types of stats out. Those you can kind of trust because these are the guys that are collecting it to put it on the website anyway. FBref has their own Twitter page. So, you know, things like that I would trust. But if Johnny B. Gooner over here is making this infographic and he doesn't give you a link to where you can find the sites or the source from which they come from, be very cautious about believing that information.
I made mistakes.
Well, I'm just going to get a cup of tea, mate. I'll be back in 2.
All right.
Just a quick stat. Also, since the last few days, I actually saw you making a comment, Will, on the football terrace when I forgot her name.
Jess.
When Jess was talking about Jesus and Richarlson. A lot of people have been pulling it up in Brazil, and I think it, of course, has hit Twitter everywhere, that since he joined Everton, only Neymar has scored more goals than Richarlson in Europe when you count only Brazilians. So,
43 goals.
Scored more goals than Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah, Neymar plays in the league.
Yeah, but see, their argument is, but Jesus doesn't get the playing time because of rotation. And when you go to per 90 numbers, he's better, which is true, by the way. It is true. But also, too, the more games you play, the better chances you have for that statistic to drop, for example, right? I mean, if Son came in and played 5 games and scored 2 goals in each of those, he's going to have a goal to win ratio that is not, right? So you got to pick a certain level of minutes. Now, I think Jesus plays 25 games a season-ish for City. But if he was such a good striker, he'd play a lot more than that. Because if you compare the number of minutes Sergio Aguero got at City versus Gabriel Jesus, it's not even close, right? So,
but this is what people need to understand. When you look at when Gabriel Jesus arrived, City only had Aguero as a striker in their team. So he came in to be the replacement. Aguero was supposed to leave in that season we qualified to the Champions League final. He didn't. He decided to stay another year. And then when he finally leaves, City used De Bruyne, Foden, Sterling, I don't know. Torres. They used so many players as a center forward, false 9, striker. And Gabriel Jesus was in the mix, okay, but he was supposed to be the number 9. He was supposed to be their striker, and he wasn't. The fact that they used Kevin De Bruyne as a false 9 instead of Gabriel Jesus as a striker shows that he isn't all that. And maybe, I don't know, for him was easy to stay because it's Manchester City, Champions League every year, a lot of money every year, Premier League winners all the time. But, it's only because the fire under his ass is getting bigger now of him being out of the World Cup. Because today, he's not a guaranteed player in our list. He simply isn't. He has been dropped off the national team a few times already. So that's why he's leaving. He needs game time. But, he was supposed to be the replacement for Aguero, and he wasn't. De Bruyne played as a false 9, and he didn't. It already tells you something about Jesus at City.
Yeah. And thank you to the porn pages for subscribing to the channel. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you for Brian
I thought putting the subscriber only mode on got rid of the porn pages.
But then if they subscribe to you, you got
some porn subscribers.
So I don't get it. Yeah, I don't get a lot. And actually, I think I realized too that like my subscribers jumped up during one show and then dropped that back down the amount.
That happened to me. It
was most likely the porn guys that probably once their accounts get picked off.
Those are the best show.
But what I don't know is we started the show with 1,983, and now we have 1,982. The goal was to get to 1990, not drop down one. So, and I don't think I've said anything to piss anybody off this stream. I don't know, maybe I have.
Porn guys.
But yeah, I mean, YouTube does weird stuff.
That's a Levy level.
We do have 96 people watching the show right now on YouTube alone.
Must be a subscriber that's not out there watching.
Yeah. Make sure that you hit that like button. The target was to hit 100 likes for today's show. And right now, I don't think that we're on that.
What are we on?
I think we are on
88.
88. So we're getting close. We need 20, 18, 12 more likes. Here, I'll like it. I'll help you guys out. That's 89 likes. So make sure you do go ahead and hit that like button as well. We also need 4 more members to hit the member target for today's show. So go ahead and do that.
Join your show in a minute.
But we've got a new guest to come on the show. He's just joined here in the back, and
we got a unique tune for him.
We do.
Oh, it must be
Bob from Bob Spur TV, the man who knows Bollywood better than anybody that I've ever met because I've never watched it. Bob Spur TV's in the house.
Yo.
Where's the Indian dance, Bob? Where's the Indian dance to the song? You gotta do
the old wrist twist.
I'm not gonna. Oh, Shona Butler. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm fucking pissed out of my face. I've come down. And spending time with my lovely children and my 16-year-old and my 17-year-old. And
gets battered everywhere we go.
Yeah. No, it's great, man. I'm just celebrating Richarlison's signature, if I'm honest with you.
And Lenglet.
Is that official now?
Well, Will said it is. I haven't seen it, but Will said
I didn't say I wasn't that happy.
It's here we go.
No. Is it official? Is it official? Is what they said.
It's here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go. Yeah.
Guys, are we expecting one more to come in then after Lenglet?
Spence.
Lenglet.
2 more.
Spence, I think.
Spence.
And
I think we'll get
else.
8. I think we'll get 8 in total this summer.
Centre back.
I think
Centre back.
6 will come. 6 will come before the before we go to Korea, and 2 after. I think.
Yeah, I agree.
My 70-year-old just wants to make his debut live on YouTube. Just say hello. Sup?
What's up?
We're all crazy people.
We've got one more guest to bring on, and I guess I could play the same music, so we'll go ahead and do that. But I hope he doesn't mind. I don't know him as well, so he may be offended. Nippon is in the house. What's going on, Nippon?
Who's here?
He's in a subway station, and his signal is not very.
Is that a brothel, man?
I'm in the open air.
17, what a drunkard.
In the open air, and you look like you're just a slideshow. It's not a video, it's a slideshow.
Hold on, man.
So,
But
how's everyone doing
Bobby,
today?
what have you?
good.
Steak.
We're gonna talk, and you'll answer 10 seconds later.
Bobby, what have you had to drink today, Bobby? What have you been drinking?
I'm on bottle number 3 when it comes to rosé wine.
Oh, nice.
Sean, I ain't gonna outdo you, mate. I ain't gonna outdo
I heard
you.
Bobby was listening to Bollywood, so
yeah.
I had to jump in.
Bob, what's your
I didn't know.
expected drinks?
I didn't know you were Indian. Bob.
I am, mate. Yeah. I'm pure Punjabi. My mum was from Delhi.
Oh, sat sri akal, कित्थे जा रहे हो?
ठीक ठाक, buddy. ठीक ठाक, bro. ठीक ठाक. But yeah, no, it's
You're on bottle three. You're on bottle three, Bob. That's pretty good, even for me.
Yeah, mate. I know what it feels like to be a Sean Butler tonight. But no, all seriousness, are we? Hopefully, we're not surely happy with just a Lenglet coming. We do want another centre back to come in, surely, don't we?
Yeah, not the only signing for sure. But Jay Go says, I just want to say hi to you, Gogomanim, Tiago, and everyone on the line. All these transfer talks bore me. Just let me know when you get rid of Winks and Ndombele. Well, for my show, we don't really do a whole lot of transfer talk. We may hit on it, but a lot of times it just turns into weirdness.
That's all I do.
Can everyone in the chat give a big shout out to Tammy, the mother of my children, and
Big
Tyler.
up Tammy for all your support for Bob while he was in the hospital, even after everything was going on. Big up to yourself.
You're world famous, man. World famous.
And big up to you, Bob, for fighting it.
Mate, I'll tell you what, the fight. You know what? I'll be honest with you. The fight, you don't realise what the fight's like until you actually come down and meet the kids, meet your children, and meet the mother of the children. You realise there's a lot of perspective. I know I'm drunk and I'm probably talking a lot of shit, but to all of you guys, life is so short, man. And Will, you know, you've got wonderful kids, and every single second is so important. I am probably the happiest I've been since coming out of hospital tonight, because I've got to see everyone, spend a bit of time with everyone. It's absolutely amazing. The easiest way to put it, life is so short, man. Life is so short, and when you've got kids, Will will testify. It's even shorter. It's even shorter. So lucky to have lovable kids. And sorry, Will, it's not about me, mate. Sorry.
No, you're good, man. I was just gonna say, yeah, I agree with you 100% that when you have kids, you do go by fast, and you realize, you're getting older, things start hurting. Like, I could be fine not doing. I could just be at work, doing my normal thing that I do every day. Nothing exciting. I can go to bed, and the next day I'm just sore from head to toe for no reason other than I slept.
There you go.
It's like,
simple, man.
That doesn't come with age. I'm 20 and I have that too.
Why? What did I do during my sleep that had such a workout?
Oh yeah.
But we do have another guest to add to the show for the evening.
They're all coming on, man.
And to continue the casual racism, coming in from Ireland, you know him, you love him. Say top of the morning to him. Aaron Tubb is in the house.
Hey. What's up?
Oh, be up, Aaron.
Top of the morning to all you boys, and I bet you wish you were leprechauns. I'm good, Bobby. I only came on because I had my spidey senses were tingling. I thought things might be getting a little bit slightly politically incorrect. Thinking you were here.
Politically incorrect?
Yeah.
With me on,
Bob.
With me on the show, politically incorrect. How dare you? How are you, brother? You're right.
I'm great, mate.
Personal thank you for everything you did with regards to the awareness of the NHS donations. We are closing it off at midnight tomorrow night within the wall. I don't know if you're doing a show afterwards, Will, but we'll be sending everyone your way. But absolutely great. So overwhelmed by everyone's support with that. Absolutely overwhelmed and humbled. So yeah, absolutely great. And Aaron, thank you very much, buddy.
No, you're cool, mate. You're cool. And it was, I know I'm not in England, but I do have family there, so it's for a cause that benefits. Obviously, it's everything's for a good cause, mate. And yeah, I'm not very good at being humble, so let's get back to political incorrectness, please.
No. Well, what's I'll find out from everyone, but apart from Nipin and yourself, Richarlson, mate, what are you thinking? Happy and not unhappy, but we're on the level of happiness. Oh yeah, I know about Sean. I know what he thinks of Richarlson.
For me,
Can I give a neutral perspective on it?
Yeah, go on, mate. Yeah.
It's about 7, isn't it? Rachel?
I think he's a decent signing for you guys. Back up for Harry Kane. And if there's any manager that can get the best out of a mid-table player, it's Antonio Conte. He did it with us at Chelsea. He
Rejected
turned Victor Moses. Wait, who? Richarlison.
Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about Richarlison. I'm talking about Conte getting the best out of mid-table players.
Yeah, I thought you called him Richarlison table.
or he was a mid-table player.
But there's nothing wrong, Alex. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Mate.
Listen. Let me finish. Victor Moses. Victor Moses is a mid-table player at best, but Antonio Conte got the best out of him. So it would not surprise me if he turns Richarlison into a beast. That's all I'm saying.
But I think that's what it is, Will, isn't it? I mean, I tried to ask you the question. A lot of people, I put Sean in that as well. A lot of people were comparing stats with Rafinha, Jesus, and Richarlison. But surely the fact that Jesus has played under Pep, the world's best team in the world, world's best team, and then you've got a Rafinha who plays in a not give a shit kind of team, and then you've got a Richarlison who's played under Ancelotti and Rafa, and then finally when he does have that attacking manager in place, i.e. Lampard, he scores 6 in 9. I know you're a stat man, Will, but doesn't that come into consideration, mate?
Well, I mean, for me, Richarlison, I first of all, I don't think it does. For me, I don't take into account the team a player plays for as a benefit. I look at the player's performances. In fact, if you're playing for Manchester City and you're doing well,
I might cut out Will.
You lose.
I might cut out Will.
All right, that's fine, man. You lose points if I'm comparing you to somebody like Kane and Son playing for a Tottenham team. Right, it's not a plus, right? You don't get to be a better player because you play for City. If you're playing for City, you're expected to have.
But that's the question, though, Will. Surely you are a better player if you play for City. Surely, mate.
But if you're playing for a City and you're not putting up big numbers, then that's not like. For example, nobody says Ferran Torres is a better striker than Richarlison. But just because he plays, I mean, some might because he plays for City. Because there are reasons you can't, even if you're in Manchester City, you can't just go out there and buy the best players in the world, right? So you could have the best collection or the best team, which City does. I mean, but I think too, it's interesting window, man. I really believe that Liverpool has come down. I really believe that City has probably even come down. Raheem Sterling, Gundogan saved their season.
Yeah, mate, he was playing up front, wasn't he, Will?
Yeah. If Kevin De Bruyne goes down, who's going to fill in for them? Because when Kevin De Bruyne went down last time for a long period, it was Gundogan who saved him, and now he's leaving. You know what I mean?
It's crazy. I'm going to ask this question.
Is that
Will,
a contract? I think.
Sean was on the show, and it'd be interesting to find out what you and Thiago and Aaron and Alex and Nipple think about it. But I know many Man United fans who would prefer a Perisic, a Richarlson, and a Basuma instead of a De Jong, who I know it's not been confirmed, but they'd rather take them three in, mate, rather than De Jong. I mean, I can understand where they're coming from, especially with the rebuild that Man United have.
Dipar, I'm gonna have to mute you because you got a lot of background noise, mate. There you go.
Choo choo, steak train.
I don't know what Thiago thinks. Thiago, Man United, the Man United fans I know are jealous of the fact that we've got they would swap a De Jong for a Perisic, Bissouma, and Richarlison. Can you understand that? I can.
Yeah.
Look, it hurts my heart to say yes because I love Frankie de Jong, but I do understand. I mean, football is a squad game. You need more than one player, and United have lots of positions they need to address. So I understand where you're coming from.
And I just think it's people are so salty, Bob. You know how it is. The top six always kind of looked at Tottenham. It's always kind of looked at Tottenham as it's only Tottenham lads, right? Like, and so now, can you tell me a better squad, a top four or front four, like a front three pairing with the depth of? You can't. There isn't. There isn't one in world football.
No one.
Right
You're
now.
right. Spot on.
Because Harry Kane is more proven than Holland. Holland maybe could play as well as that, but you could say even if they're even with Raheem Sterling leaving City and going to Chelsea now, Son and Mane no longer in the league. Son is easily the best left winger in the league. 100%. So you have the best striker in the league, the best left winger in the league.
Sorry.
I can't hear you, man. You're breaking up.
Breaking up big time, buddy.
Hey, Will, can I just jump? Can I take this opportunity quickly just to say, man, I'm absolutely shattered.
Sure. Before you go, buddy, just to ask you a question.
Yeah.
And I'm fascinated. I know I'm bringing it up again, but I'm fascinated with the fact that you mentioned it. I think it's about a month ago, with regards to not your concerns, but your opinion on the quality of players or the longevity of players that we're bringing in under a Conte who isn't a long-term solution.
Yeah.
With the 25-year-olds that we are bringing in at the moment, where's your feelings with regards to that? Because, well, let's be honest, the likes of Basuma, Richarlison, we're hoping that they outstay and a long lane.
Outstay.
They're going to outstay Conte, aren't they, mate?
Yeah. Yeah. We spoke. We mentioned this. I think it was on your show yesterday. I think.
That's it, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I think that the point I was more concerned around was knowing that Conte is unlikely to be around in 2 years' time.
Yeah.
And signing players on 4 or 5 year deals. Like I was worried about spending a whole bunch of money on players for a specific system, and then having to re-sign or retweak or sell players on in a couple of years' time for like the 28th year of a 30-year rebuild, because the next cab managerially off the rank would have been something like a Pochettino. But all I care really about, it's not about the players. It's just I just want continuity and consistency.
Yeah.
If I'm really happy with the window. I still hold my reservations, as I said earlier, about Richarlison. Not that he's not a great player. He's a fantastic player. I just worry about that. How much game time he's going to get for the cost of him. But
I think what we all want, Sean, is Conte to come in, and even if it is for two years, is to have that blueprint. And I hate this word, or the letters, is a DNA.
Yeah.
What we want is a DNA to be to integrate into Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. Conte for that winning mentality, and then the next manager who comes in has to fit into our DNA rather.
It's going to be Tuchel. That's
Might well be.
Ryan Mason.
Tuchel.
But hold on, before
what you trying to say?
Yeah, we're gonna get Tuchel after Conte leaves.
About Tuchel?
Yeah, Thomas Tuchel's gonna come to Tottenham.
Maybe.
But I've gotten away to. I've called in some reserves in order to keep Sean on the show. All the way from South Korea, Gogama Nam is on the show. Everybody say hello to Gogama.
Steak.
안녕하세요. Hi, everyone.
안녕하세요, 친구.
Hi, Gogo.
안녕하세요. Hi.
Will, I want to say something to you. Will, if I
Well, I think Sean's got to do an outro before you. Hold on one sec.
Yeah, sorry.
Sean's got to bounce.
I gotta go, guys. It's not even that late here. It's just I'm absolutely shattered. I'm a little bit. I was drunk. I'm now sobering up, and therefore the hangover's kicking in early. So I need to get myself to bed. But I love you guys. Love you all. Thanks for having me on. Will, as always.
Sean, congratulations on two.
Congrats on the 2K,
mate.
Thank you, my friend. Ditto to
Big
you,
up, mate.
and coming your way very soon, Will, no doubt, bro. I'll see you guys in a couple of days.
All right, mate.
Bye.
Cheers, guys. Bye.
Steak.
No.
Big up.
Will, if I cut out, I will. If I cut out, I'll join back once my phone is on a charger.
All right, mate. That's fine. You know, yeah. If you cut out, you cut out. Just let us know. Bob left too.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. He's gone to get another bottle of wine or rosé.
But yeah, mate. If you cut out, you cut out. Just join back in whenever you can, man. It's a free in and out show.
Yeah.
So you leave when you leave, and you come when you come. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You should make some merch with that catchphrase.
That's Bob's tagline. I can't steal from him.
Yeah.
But
You're getting
I used to have one.
Tour of the London subway, by the way.
Huh?
You're getting a whole tour of the London subway.
Yes, it's nice.
It's fun. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, Notting Hill. Very, very cool. Very cool, mate. Notting Hill.
I like watching it.
No, not the movie. The music
system
festival.
Down your end, Will.
Do we have a subway system in Atlanta? I don't know, man. I have a car. I don't take the subway. So in Korea, I took the subway all the time, obviously. But
Friday night subway in Korea.
Korean subway is the best subway I've ever ridden on, though.
Will, come on, mate. On a Friday night in the middle of the winter when you're wrapped up in your winter woolies and you get on and the train is packed and you're leaving Gangnam to go back to Jongja on a train where it's so overheated and you can't even move to take your jacket off. That was not a nice, pleasant experience.
Yeah, but
I have to say it's very efficient, though.
I'm talking about the quality of the trains, because everything in South Korea is fairly new, right? They didn't really start building. Other than line 1, most of the other lines are fairly new cars, new things. You know, so like for example, in Japan, the cars were older and more, down. I don't want to say dirtier, but I guess more worn. And there weren't as many good-looking girls on the train in Japan, so.
That's because they have a private carriage for girls, so they avoid perverts like you being able to look at them, mate. There's a separate carriage at the back of the train where women can go up. It's
in Korea they have the women's seats. There's no private carriage in the back for women. But like I'm just saying, like the average amount of good-looking women in Korea far exceeds the number of good-looking women in Japan. I really firmly believe that. Like even the same in the United States. If you just every morning when I would go to work and you just look at the train, there was good 50% of the girls were attractive. I'm not saying. Well,
you're into statistics. Can you statistically prove that, or is this just your opinion?
Yeah. You could probably statistically prove it.
I don't want to go.
It's true, man. Korean women are the best-looking Asian women in Asia, better than Chinese women.
Okay, and what country has the highest usage of plastic surgery?
Huh?
What country has the highest girls have plastic surgery between all Asian countries?
Probably Turkey.
They all, Japan, Korea, China, they all do.
I know. My brother's wife, who's from Korea, told me that between 70-90% of girls in Korea have had modification.
Yeah, but they're counting like double eyelid surgery as plastic surgery, all of those things, right? So a double eyelid surgery isn't going to make your face attractive, right? That's not.
No, my brother's wife had it. She had her eyes made bigger.
Well, that's double eyelid surgery. That's what they mean by bigger, right? Is they just basically they cut a line across their eyelid and then they sew it back together, and that scar causes their eyelid to pop up like a Western person's do. It's not making your eye bigger. It's not like they're going in there and cutting bone out and making your eye bigger.
No. I know, but you know what I meant. But anyway, can we get back to football? Because I really.
But all Asian, even in Japan, that's the number one form of plastic surgery in Japan as well. Double eyelid surgery. It's not a. It's like a day thing. It's like a day thing. It doesn't even take. It doesn't even take a long time to heal. Welcome back. Or thank you very much. Welcome back. Thank you very much, Sean, for the 10-pound super chat. Thanks for having me, buddy. You are welcome. You are welcome. But you know, I've spent a lot of time in Asia. I've been to most every Asian country, and the percentage of attractive women. Now, granted, attractive is a subjective thing. From my perspective.
Korea over Japan all day long. And then two, in Korea, they don't, subway system, they don't, when it's packed, it's kind of up to you, man. It's like last man. It's like an adventure, dude. It's an adventure. But they don't have guys that sit there and push people onto the train. You kind of have to do it yourself. So you got to get like a running start, and you kind of, you know, fight your way in there.
I really don't want to get involved in this because I've experienced both Tokyo and Seoul trains, and sorry, but I found in Tokyo, I know you have, but for me it was a lot more relaxed in Tokyo, and I just maybe had a couple of bad experiences in Seoul on the train, particularly coming out of Gangnam on Friday nights, where you literally got on in the crowd
during rush hour. Yeah. it's a pain.
Will님,
yeah.
Can I answer 제이코님?
Sure.
아, 네, 여기 장마철이었는데 며칠 동안 비 왔거든요. 근데 오늘은 날씨 좋으네요. 근데 좀 아주 습기는 아직도 좀 튀어요.
장마 벌써 시작한 거? 그럼 너무 일찍 한 거 아니야?
아직 시작은 안 했는데 it didn't start yet, but it was raining for a few days. It's very humid though.
I watched that Korean drama about the weather. What was that called?
Steak.
Can't remember the name of the drama now. It was a drama about the weather center.
So it's a steak drama.
KMA,
Alex.
the Korean Meteorological Association drama that was on.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
It's a good drama.
I watched that Squid Game thing recently on Bob's recommendation, and wow, that was weird. Are they going to make a season 2 of Squid Game?
No, that's not how the dramas work in Korea. But we got one guest to bring in. Abdul Karim is in the house.
Abdul.
The most rational Canadian that I've ever met. My first question for Abdul is, how did you feel about the Canadian U20s getting kicked out of the round of 16 in the CONCACAF Championships?
I don't really care because I know we're going to do better than the US in the World Cup, so that's all I care about. I can care less about the juniors. And to answer your question, they are making a Squid Game 2. They are making a season 2.
I would be surprised if they make a Squid Game 2.
Oh,
they are. Like, it's scheduled to come out, scheduled to come out 2023.
The Netflix paid them probably a crap ton of money to do it. Because in Korea, dramas have a specific period, and that's it. There are no seasons to things. JTBC does things a little bit weird, and sometimes there are seasons. But for the most part, they'll have a fixed number of episodes, and 16 being the minimum usually, and sometimes up to 30, 32. Just depends on the genre, for example. But it's usually just a really long movie, one and done, dude. They don't do seasons in Korea.
I guess Squid Game is now, it's considered Western. It's a Western thing now.
It's popularity in the
Exactly.
Yeah, its popularity in the West was so big. I can't see them not trying to cash in on a season 2. And in fairness, the final few minutes of the final episode, it was a perfect setup for a season 2.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
It would be unusual. Now, in variety shows, they'll do like Running Man and I haven't watched a lot of Korean variety shows recently, so I don't know what the new popular ones were, but like Sang Tojan, right? That was one of my favorites. Running Man.
Running Man was so fun. I missed that.
Was that based on?
They
Sorry,
all have seasons.
Was Running Man based on the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie from the 90s?
No.
Like, or was it totally different?
No, it's a variety show.
I don't think
Korea,
so. It's
okay.
So Korea has three main programs, three main types of programming. Four, I guess, if you count news and stuff like that, and then like community things. So they have. So I'm going to give you the main four. So you got Korean dramas, and in dramas, I'm including all the genres of dramas. So you have, the comedies, the romantic comedies, the action, the historical. All of those I'm counting as Korean dramas. Then you have variety shows, and that's where you get different celebrities. It's kind of like Korea's version of a talk show, because they don't really have like a sit-down talk show, but what they do is they have these variety shows where they bring in celebrities to do these weird kind of challenges. So they can all be in a jjimjilbang with you got a little bit of background noise there, Nippon. With a they all are wearing towels and the jjimjilbang clothes, and they eat food and talk about things. And then you also have the these kind of like real life news stories. So it's like kind of like, I guess you can say documentaries. But they're not really documentaries. I think that's probably what the genre they call them. They have these documentaries where, yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm gonna have to dip for now because I've only got 10% battery left. That's all I have until I get into my car.
All right, man.
So I'm gonna dip for now. So if you're still live when I'm in my car, I'll hop back on.
Yeah, we should be good. We should be good for the next 45 minutes.
Okay.
Well, do you have a Twitch?
If you're still live,
yeah, we're streaming live on Twitch right now.
Okay.
Okay, if you're still
you
live,
can
I'll
watch
see you then.
the Arsenal documentary.
See you later, Nippon.
Yeah, if not, I'll see you next week.
All right, mate.
See you.
Cheers, Nippon. Take care. I think C
Peace.
Cubed wants us to get back into football talk there, by the way, because we did go a little bit.
This is what these shows do, man.
All right.
But yeah, just to finish my statement though, so then you have the documentaries, and you have all these different things. But variety shows are fun, dude. They're like, imagine celebrity. It's kind of like Celebrity Dancing with the Stars, but more like take Celebrity Survivor.
Oh, okay.
That would be kind of like what Korean variety shows are. A lot of them
I
really
remember
good.
back in the day, you remember that show Silent Library? Was that Korean? Was that a Korean show, Silent Library?
It's hard for me to remember the names. But probably.
Yeah, there was a group of like six. I don't know if it was a Korean show or whatever, but they were like in the library and they're doing these challenges. But it was like on MTV back in the day.
Abdul, happy Canada Day.
Yeah, man, yeah. I'm not
What's
doing
Canada
nothing,
Day?
Or if you're unhappy, unhappy Canada Day if you're Scottish.
My Lost Temple says Silent Library is a Japanese show.
Oh, it's Japanese? Okay, cool. Yeah, okay.
I watched one Korean once. It's Crash Landing on You. It's like one of those cheesy Korean romance dramas. I cried with it. I love these cheesy Korean dramas. They're really
good.
The problem,
so popular
I like
all
Korean,
over Asia.
I like Korean drama. They're popular all over the world right now. I like Korean dramas a lot, but the funny thing is most rom-com Korean dramas, and even sometimes they're historical ones, all have the exact same basic storyline, right? Which is you have guy one, a girl, and another guy, and there's a love triangle. This guy likes that girl likes the other guy, and that guy likes that girl, and they're fighting. So the two guys hate each other because they're both are interested in the one girl. Somebody then gets sick, either hit by a car, a disease, or some other thing, and now the feelings change. So the girl's kind of in the struggle. Like it could be like her old boyfriend plus the new boyfriend now, and the emotions and the feelings. and then the new boyfriend and the girlfriend will break up for some dumb reason, and then maybe get back together. That's Korean drama. It's pretty much, you can see you'll find that in most every single Korean drama. That's the base, like that's the core of a Korean drama, is the love triangle and the illness.
It's kind of similar to every single Tom Cruise movie. Potential hero falls from grace, meets a girl, gets back, wins the Indy 500.
One is always rich. That is true. There's always a one guy's rich, one guy's poor, right? And the girls struggle. Do I marry the rich guy who makes my life easy? Do I follow my heart and marry the poor guy? Yes, that is also a very Ben Kim says, "LOL, so true." Well, I know it's funny, but I love them. I like them. I like the historical ones. That's my favorites. Is like the Chunos. There's a new one out now called, I want to say, like Juan. I can't remember the name of it right now. Juan, like the Soul King or something like that, I think is what the English title is. But I like the Chosun Dynasty, Goguro, Jumong type dramas. Those are my favorite.
Yeah, those are fun.
They don't do
you ever
enough,
watch Italian drama? Does anyone ever watch Italian drama? Gomorra. I was about to say Gomorra, or Romanzo Criminale, or 000, or the Capo di Tutti Capo. I mean, Italian drama for me, and myself and Iggy go often when we talk about it. For me, that's the best in the
Never
world.
watched one.
Italian. Oh, mate, it's so intense. It's all crime related, but it's ain't much room for love stories. Steak, mate. They shoot steaks, and and then they throw them in the river. It's proper hardcore drama, but it's beautiful because it's in Italy, and you get to hear an amazing music and scenery, and so if you ever have time and you don't mind the subtitles, Italian drama is fantastic.
I like subtitles. I like to watch movies with subtitles, shows too. Like Japanese dramas, for me, they're getting better, but they're a little bit. They've always been kind of dark and very very long in the fact that it takes a long time to tell the story. Chinese dramas usually were like lower quality, like weird dubbing, because they were maybe shot in Mandarin and put out in Cantonese. But they're getting better. Chinese dramas are actually getting better. There's actually been a few that I've but theirs are a little bit more fantasistical, like the Korean historical ones are they'll have some fight scenes and stuff that are a little bit old Hong Kong style kung fu type film. I can't think of the word right now for some reason. Cinematography, but the Chinese ones are always very crouching tiger, hidden dragon, flying from bamboo tree to bamboo tree, and
let's
I like
talk
that.
about the one that's popping up right now, though. Has anyone watched Stranger Things?
Yeah, Stranger Things. It's a good show.
I don't like that show, man. I don't like that show.
Just give you nightmares, Abdul.
I don't really like that show. It's just
really good.
Yeah.
Yes, Vincenzo was a good drama, Sandra. That was a great drama. If you haven't seen that Korean drama, that was a good one. I do like the crime ones too. The lawyer ones in Korea are really good. Goguma Nim should know about that, but Vincenzo was a really good drama. That was a good one.
Sure. I watched it.
You watched Vincenzo, Goguma?
Vincenzo, no, I haven't seen it.
You should watch it. That's a good one.
I downloaded it, but I haven't watched it yet. I'll watch it. Is it romantic or drama?
Yeah, it's kind of. Is it romantic? I don't think that Vincenzo. Maybe a little bit. There's kind of a love story between him and the main character, but it's basically about like a Korean guy who got adopted by an Italian mafia guy, ends up becoming an Italian mobster, comes back to Korea and has to kind of he has his evil reasons for helping out these kind of people who need help, and then there's a Korean lawyer lady who helps him, and they kind of have a thing. But that's the basis. But it's a really good
봐야 되겠어요.
yeah, it's a good drama. I like the criminal ones, the legal ones, the historical ones. The romantic ones sometimes, but it's very rarely. It has to be a high budget one. Like I can't remember right now, but sometimes they're good. I'll show my age by telling you some dramas like Chungugwi Namu. That was a good drama back in the day. I'm showing my age with that one. Gokuma's probably the only person there.
You've seen more than I have, William.
Yeah, they're luckily here in the United States they're really popular. So on Netflix every few months a new one comes out. That's usually comes out. It's like a week behind Korea because they have to subtitle it and do all that stuff. But yeah, that's how I actually learned how to speak Korean, was off Korean dramas. No joke.
Is Vincenzo realistic to Italian mafia and whatever the Korean
little bit
Yakuza is? Or is it like a little bit Walt Disney? Or would you recommend it as a... Because I love my hardcore kind of mafia stuff.
It's not hardcore, right? But it's you know, it's a PG. It's not Sopranos.
Sopranos was good.
There are some things on that get a little bit serious. But you have to understand that in Korea, you know, knives and all these things are still blurred out on TV, right? So they have very strict things that can be on TV or not, unless you get into like the cable channels. Like, you know, like here in the United States now, most streaming services, most TV shows have like full-fledged nudity in them, where in Korea that would not be acceptable on TV. So
yeah, I think it's the same in Japan, although they show incredibly weird... I couldn't watch Japanese drama or movies. They were just the weirdest things. And sorry, this is just my opinion, but I just found them completely kind of weird and creepy. Yet they are completely sensitive to showing a naked body. I don't know. But they'll show something that to me is a more not offensive, but more, I don't know. It just makes you feel uncomfortable. So yeah, Chungugwi
Namu. 천국의 계단요. 천국의 계단.
천국의 계단.
네, 천국의 계단. That's classic.
Chungugwi Namu is the sequel, isn't it?
I don't
Chungugwi Kedan and a Chungugwi Namu, and I think because there was Tree from Heaven and then Stairway to Heaven.
Led Zeppelin song, 1969, originally released as it was only supposed to be an album filler and became one of the longest time number ones in the UK. I think it was 1969. Stairway to Heaven, great song.
Winter
Sorry
Sonata.
to sidetrack you there.
What is Chungugwi Namu then? Or is that a song? It's a Chungugwi Namu. Wow. Oh. Am I getting the title confused?
Winter Sonata.
Wait, William, is that true? I was just reading CQ님's comment. It said, or there's links to Jesse Lingard. Because 사실이에요?
Yeah, so Jesse Lingard is he's a free agent, and there's, I guess, after the Anthony Gordon. So apparently we need to sign an English guy, and so there's been some talk about Jesse Lingard coming in as a free agent, which for me I think is not a bad deal, to be honest with you.
Ara's going to be talking about beans now.
I'll talk about teriyaki chicken more than I'll talk about beans. It's just every time you come up with steak, I have to counter you with something. So yeah, beans. I always thought beans and steak, right? You can't beat them for a nice quickie. But Lingard, yeah, I'd be interested in him on a free. I mean, the guy obviously needs a change of scenery, and we've seen he has ability in the past. So it's on a free, and he probably won't be demanding large wages. Probably in around 100, 120 maybe a week.
Where is he right now? I don't remember.
No, that was a drama. I was right. Chungugwi Namu, Tree of Heaven. It had Hana and Soyoon in it.
Jesse Lingard 지금 어디 있어요? Where is he?
He's a Man United player still right now, but he's a free agent right now. He's not doesn't have any club as of today. He's out. So, yeah.
I mean, he wouldn't be getting many games for us. I wouldn't imagine. You know, I don't think he'll ever regain his early kind of career performances. But yeah, he mightn't be bad. You know, Carabao Cup games, or you know, if we're at the early stages, the FA Cup, but he's not really going to. He's not going to improve or the front four that we currently have. But I mean, he's probably slightly an upgrade on Scarlett and Troy Parrott, who were most likely going to be going out on loan anyway. So yeah, if he's on a free and his wages aren't much, why not?
Yeah, he could probably sell Mora. So
I think
for me, if we have to have a homegrown, if we need a homegrown,
Maddison.
Yeah, but he's not on a free.
Yeah, but I don't care.
If we have other targets out there that we're spending money on, and Maddison isn't one of them, then I would rather go out and get Lingard on a free than go sign Anthony Gordon for $25 million.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't mind spending $60 million on Maddison, but I'm just saying I don't think Maddison wants to leave Leicester right now. Because otherwise there'd be I don't think he's linked with anybody right now. So either there's something going on that people don't like, or he's not really interested. But yeah, I mean, but we got Jed Spence. Looks like that one's pretty much done. Longley is pretty much done.
What do you think about Jed Spence, William?
For me, Jed Spence, he's a young guy. He's got potential. Like, do I see him? People think I don't like young players, which isn't true. I do like young players. I liked Kulusevski. I like Gio Reyna. There's a lot of young players that I rate. But Jed Spence, for me, he had one good season. There's not a trend. For example, why do I rate Giovanni Reyna, who plays for Dortmund? Because he's done it for years, right? 2-3 years in a row, continual success, other than last season because he was injured most of the time. But why did I rate Kulusevski? Because he had been doing it for years. He's been playing for Sweden for multiple years in their first team, even though he's only 22. Jed Spence hasn't been doing it for years, so that makes me cautious, right? He looks stronger, he looks faster, he looks more aggressive going forward, a better carrier of the ball than Emerson does.
Yeah, but who isn't?
But exactly, it's not a just for me, for my own thing, because of the PTSD that I have from the last 2 years. I would feel more comfortable with a 25, 26-year-old wingback that we know has quality than one that might or might not. You know what I mean?
So starting Richarlson wing back. So starting Richarlison at wing back.
No, I'd rather see Kulusevski play there, to be honest with you.
As a wing back, though.
Yeah.
It's yeah. I mean, he could do it. He has the physical attributes.
I mean, Conte already said he could with his own mouth, right? So
yeah.
Kulusevski conceded to Burnley when he was playing wing back. So
what? He's never played wing back for us. How could he concede to Burnley?
But when he was rotated to in the last minutes of the game against Burnley, he conceded. Like when we lost 1-0 after that Man City game.
I don't remember.
I don't remember him playing wing back ever.
No, he was rotated in that position like the last half of the second half.
I don't remember. I have to go back and watch it. I don't remember. I believe you. Trust you. You are Steak. I just have to remember.
Steak's got the memory, man. He's got the memories. But I'd be I'd like Jed Spence but again, you're talking about potential. You'd also want somebody with experience. and I'd like to see. Sorry, Gogama, but I would like to see Royale shifted out. Someone brought in. Sorry,
Atletico are interested.
Yeah, I mean, we can probably get a few quid for them. Unfortunately, I mean, I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm a big fan of Doherty. I was a huge critic of him, but we did get to see what he potentially can be when played in the system that he suits or that suits him prior to injury. So
he's injured until December. So
yeah, you see, I know I keep hearing all these rumors. Oh, he's back in pre-season training, but that might just mean physio or a bit of gym work, you know. So I think people need to slow down because I've seen a lot of people saying, "Oh, he's back in pre-season. He's going to be ready."
I saw that too, Aaron. I saw that too.
Yeah.
I think he was okay.
Mods don't. Oh, okay. Bob's a mod. You can't block him. Good.
I told you every time Bob pops up, so do those links.
Well, it's Bob. It's not the links. It's actually Bob just typing this.
I
in
know,
there, right?
I know.
Naked Will smothering himself with peanut butter. Call 999. 5 OP gets you Naked Will eating a wet banana. Fire,
Bob,
fire,
this
fire.
isn't Saturday night, mate. No Tommy and dog jokes.
Oh
yet.
yeah.
I'm not that cheap, Bob. I'm not that cheap. But Ellie also says smash the like button and hit that subscribe and please support Will becoming a member too. We're still 4 members short. Definitely way short on the subscriber goal for the show.
Will, did my membership drop out? Because I got a message from YouTube saying I have to update my payment details, and I said, "Oh, piss off," and I ignored it.
Yeah,
and then, right, well, it should be back. Okay, I think it will work again now. Are you able to just check it and see? I didn't upgrade it, but
if you hit the rejoin or whatever on your thing, it'll automatically
rejoin.
pop back
Okay,
up.
because I noticed because I think the same thing happened when because I am only a member on both your and Sean's show, and I think it I saw that it reactivated on Sean, so I was just curious if it had reactivated on yours yet. But yeah, I'll get that fixed up. So that'll be only 3 more members then, I guess you need.
Yeah. But we do definitely need, or would not need, but we would appreciate that as well. But we do have 109 likes, so we have hit the like target for tonight's show. If you're watching and you're not subscribed, we know that everybody in the chat subscribed. So if you see somebody in the chat, you know they're a subscriber because it is in subscribers only mode. If you're not in the chat or talking in the chat and you are watching the show, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and then you can chat with everybody in the chat. Because that's where all the fun is, really. Most of the time, people don't even listen to what we're saying on our streams. The chat just is gone. The chat is a completely different topic than the show. But that's good. That's good. That means the community, the people, the family of people in the chat enjoy each other, and that's just good. That's a good place to be. But yeah, we're not going to go too long tonight. Probably got about 30 more minutes because I do want to watch the United States U20 team playing in the CONCACAF Championship. Not going to do necessarily a watch along for a U20 CONCACAF Championship. But I do want to watch it because it is the semifinals. Both Mexico and Canada have bombed out. Guatemala knocked Mexico out on pens the other day, and yeah, this will be the third CONCACAF U20 championship, which is like our U19 Euros or whatever that England just won. If we win this one, it'll be our 3rd in a row for the United States. And the start of us winning that competition is kind of the start of our dominance in CONCACAF. So to see that continuing on, seeing Canada go out in the round of 16, Mexico going out in the quarterfinals. Now with the teams that are left, if we don't win, it's going to be a little bit embarrassing. So, knock on wood. But we've been running teams over pretty easily. So
good luck, William. Good luck.
Yeah.
USA.
Before we head out, we got about 25 minutes. We got Miss Ellie Queen Hoiberg joining us on the show, the general herself.
Hello, Kukuma. Hello, Aaron.
Hi,
hello,
Queen.
Hey,
how you doing?
All good.
Good. I thought I'd join you
good,
for
double good,
25.
Yeah, join. Yeah. You're welcome to join. What are your thoughts on the transfer stuff?
I still think we need 3 more. We need a centre back, right wing back, proper right wing back, and I think we need another striker.
Another striker.
We do, because we
Or like a forward or a striker.
a proper striker.
He is a proper
Someone
striker.
like if Kane gets. Well, Richarlson sort of plays along the free, doesn't he? So he's not like an out striker. I want a proper striker, like someone like Calvin Lewin or someone like Dennis at Watford, someone like Lautaro Martinez. I doubt we'll get him, but Dennis would be a good one.
I mean, Richarlison's main position is striker. The majority of his games, I think it's like 65 out of his 100-something appearances over the last 3 or 4 years have been at center forward. So he's a striker. He's just a striker that can play on the wing. He played on the wing because Everton didn't have a winger. So
yeah, true. Yeah, but I still think we need one more striker, because if Kane gets injured or Sonny gets injured, then we've only got Richarlison, because Mora's not going to score, is he? I love Mora, but he doesn't score.
Yeah, but what's the chance of both of them getting injured?
They will get injured during maybe different times, but they will pick up injuries, like even this season just gone.
Yeah, like 1 week.
They picked up injuries, but they weren't out for a long time. No, I think Sonny was out for 2 weeks, but then we had the international break, and I think Kane missed a week or two. But then
Kane didn't have an injury this season.
With injuries,
Kane missed.
I think we didn't have anyone to play for him anyway.
Yeah.
He probably had injuries, but he just carried on playing through the injuries.
And the likelihood of injuries is obviously
here and there.
I mean, the likelihood of injuries this season is obviously going to be increased when they're coming back from Qatar, having played a whole extra bunch of games, playing out in a hot climate, and then coming back straight into playing football in January in a cold climate. The likelihood of muscle tears and things like that increases. You know, it's going to be a different season. I expect there to be quite a few injuries.
Sandro, I see in the chat.
Kane got injured.
I always tempt fate, and I always get it right. Okay? I see in the chat.
Yeah.
The 5th comment.
The 5th one, Kim Hee-sun, but I know Kim Hee-sun. Like, there's a lot of Kim Hee-suns. Are you talking about the actress? Or what?
What?
Anyway, what were you saying? Steak? Talking about Bob's naked?
Will, you're on women tonight. Is your wife still away or something?
She is.
Oh yeah.
I thought so.
Alright, so go again.
While the wife's away, the mice will play.
But you know who he is. He's coming to join us for the last 25 minutes of the show. Amari from Amari Spurs Channel's in the house.
The international man of mystery.
Wu-Tang Clan is in the house.
Steak.
Woo.
Yeah.
Come on, Mari. Mari's the proper woman.
No big.
You're the proper ladies' man.
Yeah. I'm on prescriptions.
Yeah.
What, getting swimming?
No, I have my tooth pulled out, and so.
Okay. How many? Just one?
Why.
One.
That's not too bad.
Just both lowers are gone. So, yeah, been away for a while. Just coming back, just catching up, doing some pre-planning stuff for work. Because school's open up.
Really? We're missing you.
Yeah. We're actually the lounge, obviously the Love Lounge, will come back in July. I had work on a new logo. I'm gonna send Bob some stuff to come up with a new song, and so really excited about the new season coming up. Still want to see a couple of some signings come in, especially at the wing back. I mean, I like Spence, but I like Spence coming in with like a Singo or Hakimi or anybody that can be, solid. And then at centre back, I kind of want Ndika in. If we're back,
yeah.
Torres, but
he's got an unfortunate name.
Especially since his real first name, he goes by Evan, but his real first name is Obite.
Do we want to sign any more N players? Ndika, Ndombele, and Cuckoo.
Jay.
Do we want to sign any more? Yeah, Jay. Yeah, I see him play once. He played for Spurs a couple of times, I think, properly.
Sorry, Ellie, just about unfortunate names. When I worked in Australia, there was 2 customers I had. One of them was called, let me try and get this right, You Fuck Our Slick, and the other one was called Bum Suck. So, yeah, there you go.
God.
Yeah, I couldn't keep a straight face. I couldn't keep a straight face.
I know. When I was working at the Home Office, Aaron, a bloke, this is genuine, he came in, his name was Fuck You.
I'm changing my name to that, Ellie. I'm changing my name to that.
His real name, F-U-K, and Fuck You.
It's, yeah.
Sorry, Kakuma.
No,
I shouldn't swear.
That's funny.
Shouldn't swear in front of the Empress. It's just his name, that's all.
But
keep it clean.
I've missed everybody, so I can't wait to get back.
I miss you.
We
miss you, Mari. We need your show back, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Coming back. We're coming back. I'm gonna try to get some live footage. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go to the Orlando City Arsenal game. And
wow.
If Arsenal loses to Orlando City, you better believe that week, that show, and on Twitter, there's gonna be a whole lot of trash talking.
I'm hoping they lose now. I want them to lose.
I will be in the stadium. I will be singing Arsenal gets battered everywhere they go. So, scum has come to Orlando.
We're going to hear you in England. We'll be cheering that loud.
You better believe it. You better believe it.
Arsenal get battered everywhere they go. Arsenal get battered everywhere they go.
Yep. Even in the States.
Right. So, Mari, your show's coming back in July.
Mm-hmm. So I hope to do one this coming Wednesday. It will be a recap of just some of the signings, and what we would like to see in the preseason. So, yeah.
Jayco says he could see us winning the triple.
Me and Arthur were talking about your show.
And Levy's
the triple.
What? Might be on a delay. I could see us winning a triple, and Levy sells Sonny to Real Madrid for an insane amount of money next year. So, yeah, I don't. Maybe.
But we're all.
I wanted to add a bit about Jed Spence, yeah. Because everybody's putting him down, blah, 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 saying this, that, and the other about he's not got experience, blah, blah, blah. Right, so Robertson at Liverpool, he was going nowhere in his career. He was at Hull City, and Liverpool pick him up because they see potential in him, and they make him into a player. So Conte can do that the same with Jed Spence. That's what I believe, because I believe that Conte sees something in him. That's why he's going after him. I don't think all these rumours about Conte doesn't want him, it's Levy who wants him.
Well, I mean, the difference is though is that is kind of true because we're still looking, right? Like that's the reason. All of these other players that Conte did want got done real quick, right? So
Walker was the same. Will, sorry to interrupt, but Walker was the same. We bought Walker with Norton; they were unknowns. And they came in, and then we loaned out Walker quite a few times. We'll probably do that the same with Jed Spence, loan him out. again.
Right, but I mean,
just
we've
to give him
also
experience in the Prem.
we also brought in Jack Clark, and he's turned to nothing, and we're selling him to Sunderland for less than we bought him for, right? Like,
Yeah,
for every one
but you can't paint every player with the same
No,
brush.
but what I'm saying is, like, for every success story that you have, I could provide you with 2 unsuccess stories.
Yeah.
Right. So it's more.
Yeah, I agree with you, but we're hoping that Jed Spence will be a success.
But Ellie, do we want to be buying a player for
15 million on him?
Ellie? It's a
I
position
know
that
what you
needs to be
mean,
addressed.
but it's
So
good to bring him in and then loan him out, I think.
But then we're not addressing
give
the
him
issue.
a try.
But if we're just buying him to loan
Yeah,
him
but we
out,
need.
we're not addressing the right wing back position. You know, issue that's we need
The
to
only
fix.
thing I would say to that is we did it with Walker and he came good. He came very, very good.
Emerson's world
And
class.
he didn't have.
He picked up a flare.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, there's
really
Kyle Walker
funny
Peters
state.
we signed, and he's actually probably been the most successful. Even he's not that good. You've got.
He was in our academy.
Yeah,
We didn't sign him. He was
yeah,
in
but
our
I'm saying
academy.
him coming through, and then we had Emerson that we've
Yeah, we get rid of
purchased.
him.
We've bought
Aurier
that we purchased and been a flop. I think Jet Spence has more potential. I think Jet Spence will be better than Emerson, but that's a very low bar. I don't see him coming in and doing what Dumfries or Hakimi could do, and that's what we need if we want to challenge the title for the title.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I agree with you, but give the boy a chance. Like, if we do bring him in, bring somebody who's better than him, and then loan him out. But give him a chance because he's getting all this stick for no reason. He's not even kicked a ball for us yet.
If we bring someone else in alongside with him, I don't mind signing Jet Spence at all. Fine, good, right? Yeah, good possibilities. Ship Emerson out, right? Like I'm ready to send Emerson off to Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
But if we don't sign another person, and Jet Spence is the only right wing back that we sign this window, that's bad. Not because he's bad, but because he's not proven. Right? There's no way that we could trust.
Not proven, I know.
He could come out and be the next Trent
right.
Alexander-Arnold, but he could also come out and be the next,
hope so.
Brian Hill, right? Like, so, Jack Clark.
Brian Hill, that's another one. Right, so who would you like to see come in? Which is your star player at right wing back?
Hakimi.
I mean, Hakimi is the easy answer. I personally would. I don't know. I think a little bit more outside the box. I've already said it a couple times. I'd rather go get Benjamin Beauregard, who's like a right winger for Reigns, and have him play.
Beauregard.
He's
That's an interesting. That's one I haven't heard before.
Yeah, he's a right winger / right midfielder / defensive midfielder. He's a defensively minded right winger who can really. His delivery is unreal.
But he's playing in League One.
How about Molina? Have you heard of Molina?
Molina?
Argentinian. Plays for
Molina, Udinese.
Yeah.
Argentinian international. Fantastic player.
The Celtics
I've
an
been watching him
international.
quite a lot.
Yeah, him and Romero.
Yeah, but he's crap. Not all
Talking
internationals are
We're
good.
talking right
I'm
side,
not saying-
guys.
He's an Argentinian international right now. Right side, he's right-sided. He's a right. He's really a right back, Rob, but he can play and he scores goals. He scored 8 goals last season.
Because Conte
is
is more known. Conte is more known for turning failed wingers or average wingers into really good wingbacks than he is known for turning fullbacks into wingbacks.
Well, I'll ask you this question.
That's true. That is true.
I thought about this the other day, right? Because I haven't seen, other than Carter Vickers, no one has really gone out yet. It's supposed to be a little Celso, off the way out. Brian Hill, right? And Brian Hill, is there a possibility that maybe he could play as a wing back, like maybe behind. Maybe I don't know.
You're asking the wrong man.
Learn
Yeah,
from
maybe. No?
he can learn from
Gaguma, you like Brian Hill,
Look,
don't you?
Yes, I
I'm
like
sorry.
him.
Goguma is taller and weighs more than Brian Hill does. Okay.
no, I'm just saying you can learn from Perisic and maybe be third on the totem pole. If the rumors are true that we get rid of Reguilon and keep Session, is there a possibility that maybe he can be converted to a wing back? I'm just saying that. I mean, I don't care if he goes, but I'm just saying if he stays and we don't have him out on loan, is there a possibility we could convert him to a wing back?
I mean, the only thing that he's good at is dribbling, pressing, and that's about it, right? So it is
He has a lot
plausible.
of energy. He has a lot of energy. Maybe
He doesn't have the aggression, though. He doesn't have aggression.
He does have the aggression. No, he has aggression.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the physicality, though. He's not big enough. He'd have to put on right now. I think he weighs something like 140 pounds, 5'9" and 140 pounds. I mean, that's
10 stone, isn't it?
like he's got to be. Because at 5'9", that's not super short, right? It's not tall, but it's not super short. It's not like he's Vieira that the Arsenal lad they just scored, who's 5'6" and 130 pounds, or smaller than my 14-year-old.
How similar he is to Brian Hill.
Yeah, that's why I said they signed Brian Hill 2.0. Nobody gets it but me, but Brian Hill would have to be like, he'd have to put on a ton of muscle, man. Like he'd have to
eat some steak.
Need a lot of steak, get up to like 1. So let's see, 5'9". Let me do some math. I could tell you what he could viably get to.
What's Jordi Alba's weight? He needs to get to like Jordi Alba's weight. You know, Jordi Alba.
He has a really good medic or training coaches, right? So maybe they could help him.
Yeah, he's gonna have to eat a lot of steak. A lot of steak, a lot of potatoes.
And a lot of steroids.
Yeah, because Modric is Modric is the same height roughly as him, I think, about 5'7", 5'8". But Modric has got strong legs.
Yeah. He's got
upper body strength. He looks slim, but he's strong. It's like Heung-min Son. He's got massive legs. Muscle.
Do you ever know Camaro?
That's why didn't Spurs work on his fitness?
Yeah, I'm curious about that.
We've got all these strength coaches at our club. They should have worked with him.
I agree. I mean, that's something the team dietitian needs to work with. You know, especially.
We've got the best dietitians, the best strength coaches. Why didn't they
best
work
dietitians we have at
The boy has got skills. He's just too weak. He's just too weak to make it in the Premiership, as his weight shows. He's too lightweight. Gets knocked off the ball too often.
I still have hopes.
Would you agree, though, Will, that he has got some skill?
I still have hopes for Hill. I don't think we can write him off just yet. He's still young enough to bulk up a bit, and he does, nice feet. He came in at a very young age. I don't think he even wanted to come to Spurs. I think it was just part of that Lamella deal, and they couldn't turn down that. I mean, it's 35 million quid. Who's going to say no to that? Like when you add it up,
he's already below though. Like I'm looking at here, he's even just ideal weight category, athletic build category for a small frame male at 5'9". He should be weighing at least 156 pounds. That's an ideal weight. He's at less than 140, 145. He's way underweight, man.
Yeah, so he should be a stone and a bit heavier.
Yeah, and as an athlete with muscle, because muscle weighs more than fat, he should be hitting it around 165 pounds, I would guess.
We put an N in the start of his name, so he starts eating burgers.
And burgers.
Is it Ndombele?
He needs to be.
Yeah, he needs to put a stone and a bit on minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll. Sorry, Al. I think he'll. I think he'll remain in Spain. I don't imagine he'll make it in the Premier League. Not yet. Maybe in a few years' time he might come back. But I think for now his development for his own career needs to be in Spain. He seems happy there, close to his family, and you know, for a young lad to come abroad and try and adapt to the world's possibly most physical league, or arguably the most physical league, as Will points out, such a lightweight, with such a high price tag on you as well. You know, and then to be shipped out after 6 months, I'd be happy if he stayed in Spain just for his own personal sake, and wish the fellow well, you know, because I do like him as a player, and I think he could have a bright future. I hope he does.
Yeah, the Valencia want to keep him though, because they were touting him for Marseille or Sampdoria.
Well, they wouldn't be bad options for him either, although Marseille is a bit of a feisty environment to play in. Well, Marseille is a very feisty. Their fans are wicked, man. Marseille's fans are they're like ultras. Oh, they're like Napoli ultras, man. In Marseille, you know, it's you'd get a lot of pressure there.
Crazy fans.
Yeah, totally nuts, man. Yeah, Italy might do them though. You know, that might be not Napoli, but you know, maybe a mid-table Italian team, something like that might be good.
Yeah.
Or a mid-table Spanish team.
Yeah, maybe he'll do a Gareth Bale, because Gareth Bale was a skinny little runt when he came to Spurs. And
Not that skinny though. Not that skinny.
He was quite slim. No, when he first came, if you look at the pictures of him when he first came, he was quite slim.
Yeah.
Not Brian Hill slim. He became a proper man.
Do you know what drove me mad about Gareth Bale?
The dude wears an adult small shirt that looks. Hold on, the dude wears an adult small shirt, and it looks like he's wearing a 1990s kit. It's so big, right? Like, that's, you know what I'm saying?
He needs
like
to
when
eat
his
some
kit
food.
hangs off of
Please
him
eat
like
some
this.
food,
Ellie, do you remember when Gareth Bale got good? Gareth Bale got good after he had the ear operation. When he first came, he had those big ears that stuck out, and then he got them pinned back. And he used to spend his first 20 games flicking his hair over his ears so no one would notice, right? And he looked like a Monchichi. Sorry, Gareth Bale, I love you. But he looked like one of those Japanese toys, the Monchichis, had the ears sticking out. Then he had the ear operation, and all of a sudden he came Gareth Bale that we all remember now. I think he was very...
He had an ear operation, Aaron.
Yeah.
Sorry? Pardon?
I didn't know he had an ear operation.
Yeah, look at him when he first came to Spurs.
I usually call them FA puppies.
I think he got more aerodynamic after he got the ears. Yeah, he got so much stick, and poor fellow was only a kid. Like, I think he got more aerodynamic after the ear operation.
A Formula One car.
Yeah, he did.
But if you could
see,
see,
lost him. I wish he didn't get so good.
So if you could get,
we lost him to Real Madrid.
If he could get up to 168 pounds, then I would say maybe give him another chance, see what he could do. But I'm sorry.
Yeah.
When Vieira, who's already like, have you guys seen Vieira? Like he looks like an ad for like UNICEF or something like that. The
Arsenal player.
Yeah, the Arsenal player.
God, he's so skinny.
Yeah, he only weighs 5 pounds less than Brian Hill, and he's 3 inches shorter. That means Brian Hill's more skinny because Bone weighs more. Vieira weighs 140 something, and
off the ball so easily.
And Brian Hill weighs 146 or something like that, and he's 3 inches taller than Vieira.
How are you smaller than Gil?
He won't last at Arsenal. He won't last at Arsenal at all. Arsenal usually go for bulky midfielders, don't they? They don't have little skinny runs.
This guy's like an inch shorter than Messi and about 20 pounds lighter than Messi.
I'm sure Conte has plans for him. He can bulk up.
Conte will get rid of Brian Hill if he doesn't bulk up. Conte doesn't like Brian Hill. That's why he sent him on loan last season, and that's why they're sending him out on loan against this season. Conte knows. Look, people think I'm being mean. I'm not. It's just like facts of life. It's like if I would be doing a bad thing to my sons if I told them that they had the capacity and the ability to be basketball players. They just don't have the physical attributes to be successful in the game of basketball. right? The odds of them at 6 foot 6'1" becoming a professional basketball player is tiny.
Right.
But if they want to play professional sports, football, baseball, you know, those are sports where they have a physical chance. Right? Basketball is not one of them.
You know, in basketball, Will, you do have some smaller players though who are quite quick, you know, and nippy, and they pass it to the bigger players.
It's very, very, very rare, right? It's
very
very
often.
rare.
Very rare. Like you'll get a 5'9", 5'10" player. Very rare, is it?
Once in a generation.
They always over 6'4", 6'5", 6'7".
Well, Muggsy Bogues, Spud Webb. Muggsy Bogues, I think it was like 5'5".
Yeah, Muggsy Bogues, Spud Webb, Stockton was real short. But like I said, that's a once in a generation type of a dude. It's not. We're talking about odds here, right?
Even Jason Kidd, wasn't Jason Kidd not very tall either?
Yeah, Jason Kidd's pretty short.
Stocky though. He was a little stocky.
Stocky though. But I mean, even he was 5'8", 5'9". You got to remember that, like, it was because everybody else is so tall that they look like midgets. Most people look really short standing next to me, right? So.
Yeah.
Would it not be an advantage now? Excuse me, my ignorance when it comes to basketball.
I'm only 5'6".
No, excuse my ignorance when it comes to basketball. Would it not be an advantage to be shorter to be able to dribble with the ball in midfield?
Your whole agenda against tall people, I don't know what it is, but it's really funny.
Not an agenda. It's just thinking about like the distance that the ball is bouncing from.
I think all the people are more
from the ground.
For what Aaron
they can weave in and out.
It is kind of harder to guard a smaller person, especially if they're real good, like Iverson. It's much harder for them to score, but it's harder to guard them. Like they'll be able to run like literally Iverson was unguardable, but it's also hard.
They run through the tall man's legs.
To see what's scored, you know, because when you go into a lane with all these tall guys, it's tougher to score. But yeah,
so Iverson has an advantage over Yao Ming, right? Because Yao Ming is awkward, slow, clumsy. He's just 7 foot tall, right? But he doesn't have an advantage over guys like Michael Jordan at 6'6" or LeBron James at 6'8", right? Those guys are as agile as he is at 5'8", at 6'8", right? That's the problem. The athleticism. People don't realize that just because you're tall doesn't mean, like, for example, a lot of people when they see me from a distance don't think I'm that tall. Because my torso is equal to.
I think you're a beacon.
No. There's different types of tall people. You have people that are all legs, right? And a short, stubby body, like you look, boom, and you could. I don't have that. So my mom has a long torso. My dad has long legs. I wear the same. My dad's 6 foot tall, and I have this exact same pant size as him. Same inseam.
Same pants.
Yeah, the same pant size. Jeans, trousers for you guys over there.
Yeah, because we
call pants pants or pants here.
Yeah,
underwear. That's
no trousers. The same inseam. I have the same inseam length as my father does, but he's 6 inches shorter than me, right? So he's all leg. My mom is 5'10", so she's tall for a woman. When they sit down, my mom is 2 inches taller than my dad. My dad is 2 inches taller than my mom. He's probably not 6 foot anymore because he's had a couple of hip surgeries. So I have my mom's torso, and if I wear a large shirt, from my belt line, there's maybe only about 2 to 3 inches of the shirt length. Large shirts, extra large shirts barely cover my belt when I stand up. I have a really long torso. But I'm 6'5", but I look proportionate. I don't look like tall people normally look, like a Peter Crouch who's like all legs, no body, right? It's like spider legs coming out of here. But we're about the same height. But I don't look like Peter Crouch looks. I look more normal. But because of that, I was far more agile playing sports growing up than most other tall people were, because my center of gravity is lower than most tall people's. Tall people's center of gravity, if you're all legs, it's not about how tall you are. It's about how your body is proportioned. more short people have short legs and short bodies, and so their center of gravity is balanced lower, right, in their body than a tall person who's normally a lot of legs. So just because you're a lot of legs, it's you being a lot of legs. If you're 5'10" or 11 and you're all legs, you're going to have a higher center of gravity than I would at 6'5".
Yeah.
So
you're pretty
not about the
athletic
height.
then.
It's about how your body makeup is. I was athletic growing up. Yeah. I was never good. I played too many sports. That was a problem. I didn't focus on anything. Played everything. Everything you think of that's like American-ish.
Jack of all trades.
Yeah. Golf,
What was your favourite sport?
I was a competitive swimmer. Basketball is the one that I played the longest. Yeah, I did competitive swimming. I did golf, tennis, baseball.
Did you ever go to the Olympics?
American football. I've never been to the Olympics. No, like I said, I didn't do anything well enough. I didn't focus on anything enough to be elite at any of them. I didn't practice. I had a lot of natural. I had a lot of natural ability, so I didn't train much, to be honest. And that was my problem.
Yeah.
I had the same problem. Yeah, I did BMXing, mountain biking, road cycling, martial arts, football, which was my main sport, rugby, squash, a little bit of tennis, and just too many sports and not focused on one. Whereas, because my dad said, like, the one that I was doing well at was football. And my dad said, I said, look, Dad, I want to make a go at making a career at this. And he said, no, you're going into cleaning boots for a living, because that's the way it was back then. Like, you'd be a teenager, you'd go to a club, if you passed your trials, and you'd end up cleaning the boots and, you know, of the pros, and you wouldn't make it anywhere. So, unfortunately, I kind of just killed my love of sport for a couple of years, and then I discovered women and parties and going to pubs, and that was the end of that. But,
yeah, me too.
Like a good Irishman. Aye.
Yeah, so I mean, like,
women are the damn full of all men.
But for me, I mean, that's the thing. You got to be like, if my dad, if somebody would have actually looked at me, checked my height, my stuff like that, and said, for example, I played American football, played tight end, wide receiver, had a very high IQ. I was one of those players that I may have not been the most athletic, but I was athletic and I had a very high IQ in the sport that I was playing. So, and I worked really hard. I was kind of like that Rudy character. High work rate, high IQ. Maybe can you say like a Hoy Barres type player in whatever sport I was playing. So basketball, was I always the tallest? No, but I worked hard. I knew positioning. I was able to do better than I probably should have. American football.
You could be a quarterback, Will.
I never got the chance to play quarterback. I was always too big, right? It was always the shorter guy that got got to play quarterback.
That's a good stats for a quarterback. Like, I mean, 6'5", 6'6".
Now, but like when I was growing up, it was, I don't know why, but it was the short guy called Sharky who was playing quarterback, the coach's son or whatever. I played tight end and wide receiver, free safety, stuff like that. But I was able to do interceptions a lot, one-arm catches and stuff like that. So if my dad would have taken the time to really see what sport, because even now, 6'5", I wouldn't have been. It would have been decent height for the NFL, but not super good for the positions I was playing. A lot of tight ends are 6'8", but the goalkeeper for football, I think I could have been really good at.
Yeah.
I'm fairly decent at it now, fat and 40. So like I can play futsal with high school kids, and yeah, that's what I call it, fat and 40. That if I would have, because I played soccer or football for 2 years, and if, like I said, I was bounced around to all different sports. If I would have stuck with it, I think I could have probably been an elite level goalkeeper. If I look at my athletic ability and what I'm good at, one-hand catches, IQ positioning, I think that I could have made a elite level center half, maybe even.
We would love to. We had a lot of American goalies in the Premiership, and
But the thing is that for me growing up, soccer was a sissy sport, right? Dads weren't excited to take their kids to games and we even get that now.
Shame,
I used to help out a grassroots club and coach at a grassroots club back in the day, and we had like sign-ups in the hallway at schools and stuff like that, trying to get more people to join the league or the club, and kids would be like, "Dad, I want to play soccer." Nah, that's a girl's sport. I mean, that's just the attitude over here, right?
I was the opposite. I disappointed my dad because he wanted me to play soccer, and I was playing both. I chose American football, and he was like, "What with your legs? Like, what are you doing?" And so I disappointed him, and I was like, and I mean, I'll pick up games because I played in middle school, and then when I got to high school, I was like, "Oh no, I want to go to the NFL," and so he was just like, "You disappoint me," you know. Had many soccer players in our family and stuff, and so it was kind of the reverse and stuff. And I kind of thought about it too, because I was like, man, if I had put all the focus in, I probably would have played, got up to college ball, because my cousin got scholarship, played for University of North Carolina, and so, but I just stuck with American football, broke my arm, and then that was it. And then wanted to do sports journalism. Got accepted at Syracuse. If you guys know, Syracuse is well renowned for journalism, for sports, because I worked for the high school newspaper. But just moved to Florida. I decided to stay in Florida, weird enough. And so I don't regret things, but that was one I was like, you know, if I had gone to Syracuse, I would be on ESPN right now, covering football and American football.
Are you on ESPN, Marty?
Huh? No. That was my track that I wanted to do, and my dad. You gotta understand, when you're from
a still do it.
Caribbean family,
you can still do it, Mari. You've got the voice and you've got the personality.
I could.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, I think you'd be good at it, Mari.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted me to be
But
a
you
doctor.
still have to do the love lounge.
Or engineer. They wanted me to do three things: either be a lawyer, a doctor, or engineer. And if you're not doing those three, it's like failure. So.
Any final thoughts? We've got 7 minutes before I disappear.
I'd just like to say to Mary, I had a mate when I lived in Australia. The first time I moved to Australia was 1999, and I met a guy called Martin Patton, who was originally from Texas but played for the Miami U's university team. The year after all the scandals, but unfortunately Martin, when I met him, he was playing semi-pro rugby in Sydney in Australia. He'd got kicked out of the Miami U's for stealing credit cards from the dressing rooms of the opposing team. He unfortunately passed away in a car crash years later. But just that's really my only connection to American football. But he was a running back, incredibly fast guy. Yeah, it is. Now his parents had died in a car crash as well. I mean, he had a really tough life. Sorry, I don't want to end the show in a downer, but just that's kind of the only connection. He was a lovely guy. Me and him hung out every day. He's I can't remember.
That's life, Aaron, isn't it? That's life and death. Life and death story.
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, I didn't have the encouragement from my dad when it came to sports. He, like you, Murray, wanted me to become successful, in the business world. And I'm useless when it comes to business. So to be honest, when I can't hold on to a penny, mate, I blow all the money I have every time I get it. So I was only interested in sports, but
Daniel Aaron.
Pardon?
Daniel Aaron.
I wish.
Daniel Aaron.
We got 7 minutes.
Never call me that.
At 9 o'clock, I'm shutting the stream down, whether we do outros or not. So it's up to you guys.
Right. Okay.
Steak.
I was going to say, my dad encouraged me to play football, but my mum hated me playing football. She'd whack me if I was playing football out in the street. She'd go, get back in, you're not playing football. But I still carried on because I loved playing football.
It was opposite for me.
Yeah,
my mum and my
but
nana.
My dad encouraged me a lot.
My mum and my nana were the ones saying, "Are you playing football? Get out there and kick ball." Kick ball, as they used to call it. So it was the opposite, and then Dad would come home saying, "Oh, what are you doing out playing football? You should be doing your homework and studying." And so it was the opposite for me.
Yeah, my mum was like that.
Well, you know they call it soccer in Ireland.
Well, I had 7 brothers, Aaron.
Well, I call it soccer because we have Gaelic football.
Yeah,
so
they call.
it depends who I'm talking to. I'm comfortable with both words, you know.
No, I think it's funny too. Like English people get so triggered. They get so triggered about football. What is every every other native?
What, calling it soccer?
Yeah, calling it soccer. Every other native English-speaking country in the world majoritively calls it soccer, except for the UK.
And soccer is where it originated, right? Association soccer.
Because what happened was is you have.
Yeah, it did.
So it started in the UK, right? It was called Association Football. The nickname for it by, I guess you could say, the upper class was soccer. You had soccer and ruggers, right? Rugby football and association football, ruggers, soccer. So when the game spread, right, where it was big, because you have to understand, England didn't even enter into playing into the World Cup until like the mid 1950s, right? So they didn't join the rest of the world in the international aspect of it. It was more kind of a prestigious club, high club, wealthy. It wasn't really a working man game when it came on. There's actually a good movie about it on Netflix. I can't remember. It's like The King's Game or something like that. But it was, so when it spread to the other native English-speaking countries back in the early 1800s, soccer was what it was colloquially called. In Australia, they call it soccer. South Africa, they call it soccer. The US, they call it soccer. Canada, they call it soccer. Ireland, they call it soccer. It wasn't until the English Game. Thank you, Hotspur. It was it's a good movie, The English Game. Go watch that on Netflix if you haven't seen it.
I think I have.
But
I've seen that. I've seen most of it.
Yeah, it's a good movie. But it kind of gives you the history of the game. And then but then, and even in England too, around I think it was after World War II or so, the usage of the word soccer, that's where you got Soccer Sunday and soccer, it increased. It was never the majority. Most people called it football, but it was like, I think it was 20 to 30% of all news articles from that time period of the 70s, 80s was soccer. And it wasn't until the US the U.S. World Cup that this whole soccer football battle started, and that's when soccer took a tank in the UK. So as far as it being acceptable, so I find like older people, older people seem to not mind it being called football, soccer, football, whatever. But the younger people do. They get very triggered by it. It's pretty funny. People don't like.
We call it football because we just you grow up and you call it football. But, we know that there's other people call it soccer, so it's no big deal.
Yeah, same with me, Ellie. It's no big deal.
If they get upset by it, they're stupid.
A lot of people do, but there are a lot of stupid people. I had one guy, no lie.
I know. It's stupid.
I had one guy on Twitter, I think it was.
People.
I think because somebody posted a picture of somebody had photoshopped Christian Pulisic pulling up a shirt and saying it's called soccer. It was kind of like a banter for like the World Cup. If Christian Pulisic scores against England, he should have this on under his shirt. Yeah. It's called soccer. That would be great banter, by the way, and I hope he does that. But
it would be.
Some guy was really just upset about it, and he said to me, he's like, well, then how come every language that I translate is translated to football and not soccer? It's like, because you're in England, you idiot, and you're using England English to translate your things, right? If you chuku translated in American English is soccer, chuku, which is the Korean word for soccer, by the way. In English is translated football. In 축구, translated into Italian, is calcico or whatever, how you pronounce it. But he's like, yeah, but in Italy, that's translated to football, man. I'm like, no, the actual translation, the literal translation of calcio or however you say it in Italian is kick. In Italy, football isn't called football. It's not football. It's kick.
Sounds sense.
Right. That's what the actual word is. 축구, right, is not literally
It's
translated
like
as football. Chuk is not foot.
So Calcio Mercato basically says kick the newspaper.
That's right. Kick newspaper. Exactly.
It's kind of it's so irrelevant as a.
Well, no, because words aren't translated literally. The meanings are translated, right?
I know.
So, for example, if I say "I love you" in English, right? In Korean, it's "love do."
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right? Sarang is love.
Well, in Germany, it's ich liebe dick, so it could be worse.
I mean, things aren't translated. The things aren't translated between languages. That's right. Polarized would see. Podosefero would be football, but that's not what they call it in Italy. Exactly right. I made that point to him, but he's dumb.
You know, in Australia, when I was living there, right, we had you've AFL, which is Australian football. Then you've rugby football, which they also call football. Then you've soccer, which some fans call football. You have three different sports, and I'd be chatting them. They told me, "Yeah, I was at the football on the weekend, mate." Like, oh, well, which type of football? Soccer, AFL, or rugby? You know, but because they call all three of them football, it's just so irrelevant. Like, but no, I do use soccer to differentiate depending on who I'm talking to and where I am in the world.
Yeah.
It's, you know, even in Ireland, sometimes I call it soccer. You know, so it's. I just don't think it's. Sorry.
I've never called football. No, I'm just saying I've never called football soccer, but I haven't got nothing against other people calling it soccer. What's the point?
But you've only one football in England. You see, that's kind of the thing.
아직도 계십니까?
Yeah, no, but even some people in England call it soccer.
그 축구 한자가
But I don't.
group of people 축이에요? 아니면
한자로요?
Yeah.
Well, they call it in Korea soccer.
잠깐만.
Do they call it?
It's called 축구. 축구 is
Do they
that?
call 축구?
축구. Yeah. 축구.
잠깐만. 제가 찾아봐야 돼요.
Because that chuk, I'm guessing it's group of people, because that would make sense, right? Because chuk in Korean, if you just look at the meanings of things like shaft, celebration, axle, spindle, pintle, verge, sign of the ox, written prayer, shortage. So I don't think it's any of those. My guess it would be group of people. And then gu is.
Okay. It's 찰축. 축은 찰축, so that's kick.
So kick, kick.
Mm-hmm.
And then gu is ball, right?
네, 구 is ball.
Kick goo.
Yeah, so kick ball.
Oh, yeah.
Just like in Italy.
Save it for Bobby's show.
We don't want to kick Guggenheim. Most of them want to kiss you, not kick you.
So kick ball.
Wow.
What?
한자 잘하세요. 저보다 더 잘하세요.
아닌 것 같은데. I only know a little bit of.
You've got such a sweet laugh.
Thank you.
Hey, polarized about Pro Evolution Soccer. That game in other parts of the world was called Winning 11. So they didn't actually use the term PES in a lot of parts of the world. They called it Winning 11. Probably because of, I don't know, maybe because of
licensing deals. There's another game.
I don't know. Right. It's the same game. Just with different name, depending on where you were in the world. In Japanese, it's pronounced Saka. Yeah. Japan has a lot of words like that are English derivatives, or they're English
Korea
words.
does too.
Yeah.
But they don't use soccer. Sometimes if they'll use football, like as like a romanization. But most of the time it's just chuku. But
it's funny, we invented football.
Yeah, it's kick. It's not feet. So just people got to understand.
Bob's still listening.
But Bob's we're out of here though. I'm closing this shop down. I'm already 5 minutes past kickoff. I don't know, but I'm shutting the stream down. I don't know, but I'm shutting the stream down.
He's saying he wants to kick Goo.
I'm shutting the stream down because I want to go watch the game. I'm already 5 minutes past that. So
steak.
yeah.
What are you going to watch, Will?
The game. I got to go watch the game.
What are you going?
U20, US U20s.
What game's on?
You're not doing a watch along, no?
Nope, not doing a watch along. I'm going to go watch the game. So everybody, say your goodbyes. If anybody's got anything to promote, Bob.
Just get rid of us.
I haven't gotten the invite to tomorrow's in the wall, so I don't know if I'll be on that one or not. But because I fell asleep and missed last week's when I was invited. So
yeah, send Will an invite, Bobby.
Bob's punishing me.
And your drunken speaker.
Oh yeah.
But don't forget now that this is the new. I'm
gonna order a hoodie.
Yeah, the new.
I like your Son Heung-min.
I really like this design. I think it's really nice, actually.
You have the hoodie in black.
They got the crop hoodies for the ladies.
New designs, William?
Yeah, that's my design.
I'm getting one in a minute.
Yeah, I did that design.
Very nice. Do you have to pay Son Heung-min a bit of money?
No, because I haven't used his actual name. Right, you can't copyright your name.
Okay,
you can copyright your face, but you can tell his face is there's no actual face there. It's just a silhouette. So,
okay, so you don't have to give him a cut.
I don't have to give him a cut. I will though if he wants. I don't mind. If he helps me promote it, I'll give him a cut for sure.
He's got enough money already. He doesn't need it.
Oh my god! If he helps you promote it, you'll be a billionaire.
Yeah, but I mean, he's already started his own company, NOS7. I will be getting one of those shirts as well. So they're expensive, man. 고구마 봤어요? 고구마는?
네, 봤어요.
가격이 한 8만 원?
Yes, for the T-shirt, right?
Yeah, one T-shirt's like $80.
But it's all sold out, I heard.
Wow.
I got one. My wife got one.
Wow.
Day one, she went and got one. I got one, and my son got one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
I've got a Son hat.
It's like son. He started his.
My Son hat is wicked.
He started his own brand of clothes called NOS7 or something like that. NOS, which is sun backwards.
What's it stand for? Never on Sundays or something? I've heard different meanings for it. Apparently, it's supposed to stand for something.
Just
I
sun
think it's
backwards.
Nothing Ordinary Sunday.
That's it. Nothing Ordinary Sunday. Yeah, yeah. Whatever that means.
It doesn't mean anything. It's just Korean English. It's Konglish.
It's like Japanese English. Let's fighting love. If you've ever seen the South Park episode. It's. I always love and no offense, Gogumanim, but for us native speakers, when we go to English or go to Korea and the signs that they see, say some like there is when I used to be an English teacher in Korea when I was first there 5 years. I was a head teacher at an Ipsi Hagwon. For people that are Korean, know what that is, but
well done.
One of the Korean language teacher, so the Guko Sungsangnim, she was we learn English in America. They have an English teacher, so they have Korean teachers in Korea, right? That teach kids Korean grammar and yada yada yada. She had a shirt at the Hagwon that said "Make love to me," and she's teaching 3rd grade and 4th graders with a shirt that says "Make love to me." And so I tried to explain to her very kindly. I said, "You probably shouldn't wear that shirt to school." She's like, "왜? 이거 그냥,
근데 귀엽잖아요.
Yeah, but it's no. That's so. She says, "그냥 뭐 나는." She thought it meant like 나는 사랑해 주십시오, right? No, it's 나랑 같이 자세요, right? Like 나랑 섹스하십시오. That's the meaning of the. It's don't love me, right? Make love to me and love me are two different words.
I was in Utsunomiya in just north of Tokyo, and there was
on that note.
Sorry, Al, just a quickie. There was a child's performance. They must have been 8 or 9 years old doing a street performance, a whole school, right? And they're only kids, and they were singing this really rude American hip hop song with loads of bad lyrics. And there was hundreds of people all standing around clapping and applauding. Nobody understood what was being sang. I doubt the teacher who taught them that even knew. But there are nice, funny times as well where you get things like you go to a restaurant, you open up a menu in Tokyo, and it says things like grilled lobster instead of grilled lobster. Just little funny spelling mistakes. And by the way, I make mistakes all the time when I speak other languages, and it's funny. It always makes me chuckle when I do. I mean, apparently when I was in Korea, I was shouting out "chugeo" in restaurants, and my Korean friend said "chugeo" when you want to order food, you put your hand up and shout "chugeo," and that's what I thought people. And I thought my Korean friend said, "No, what you're saying sounds like I want to kill you." So I'd be putting my hand up. Either. I don't know. Maybe she was taking the piss, but yeah.
But so chogio. Maybe you've kind of forgotten, because if you were to say chugio, chuk is kill, right? So chukda is kill.
Okay.
If you're saying chukoyo, it could sound like you're saying, it's like chopsticks.
Okay. Yeah. So, that's the beauty of traveling. You make these little mistakes. And
sounds like Conte.
Chokara are two different words you don't want to mix up, right?
Yeah, well, I guess I did.
One means penis and one means chopsticks, right? So.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
so you got to be very careful.
Malaga. Do you know the country, the place Malaga?
Malaga. It's an island. It's a Balearic island.
In Greek, that's something very rude.
Yeah, so there's Greek, but they have all of that stuff. But we got the shirts. Then we're doing all that stuff. We're ending this. I'm also going to be changing the shirt, so that one kind of feature product. So this light, dark collection of that sun design will probably only be active until the end of August. And then I'm going to switch it out with a new one. So limited time only. The WillStewartTHFC stuff, that'll stay up there forever, but that stuff's not very popular. Some idiot on Twitter, who his name's InitSpurs, so if you see him on Twitter, who's like, "Why do you have merchandise? You only have 1,000 followers on Twitter." I'm like,
why not?
Why not? I'm a graphic designer. I've sold lots of merchandise. In fact, before I hit 1,000 subscribers, all of my income revenue came from selling merchandise. The Man Smell, the Enoch Out, which I didn't sell. Not many Enoch Out stuff sold, but the Moon Boots, the Bald and Bearded Tottenham Boys stuff. Sold a lot of much. Cups, shirts, stuff like that. So
Gilson.
Should do a Gilson one. If you have any ideas for merchandise, or if you have anything you want, leave me make a steak shirt for steak. Are you gonna buy it? At least I'll sell one.
Life-size blow-up Will Stewart dolls, although they're probably a bit too tall to fit anywhere.
Needs to eat steak.
But yeah, it's like, dude, who cares if I so like there's some kind of rule that you have to have a certain number of subscribers before you can have merchandise. No, there's no rule. I'm a graphic designer. It's easy for me to do the designs. And like I said, I think the sun shirt, just the design in and of itself, is a pretty sweet design. And the coloring, black on white, white on black, looks very chic, in my opinion. I should sell the design to Sun.
Yeah, I like the design. It's very nice.
And
you should meet up with these people.
Or just throw it on
I bet he'll like it.
But yeah, if he wants it, I'll give him the profits and then sell him the design. But it looks kind of
the copyright.
It looks very kind of Myungpoom-esque for me, I think. But
Do we get a discount?
Yes, you would have a 20% discount. Go to your member perks.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'm going to order it.
Go to your member perks and you'll see the code. There's a code there that you can use at checkout to get a discount. So, yeah, make sure you do that. Okay. I think there's one too for Patreon members as well. If you go to the Patreon stuff, I can't remember. I'm pretty sure there is. If not, if you're a Patreon member, message me on Patreon, and I will send you a code.
Did you get the 4 members that you wanted to get?
Nope. We got one.
Oh,
but
that's a shame.
They will have the opportunity to do so after
Oh yeah,
the
sorry.
fact.
Hang on, I have to click rejoin, do I?
Yeah.
Hang on. All right.
But while you're doing that, we are going to end the stream. It's already 15 minutes into the first half of the semifinal.
Thank you, Will. Been a brilliant show as usual.
I will be back. I'm going to be back midweek next week with a members only show. Our first members only show. It'll be restricted view to members only. So if you do want to watch that show middle of next week, this is going to be not available. But then we will be back Friday for everybody with either transfer update and or a kind of, Friday night Tottenham where we just talk about whatever. And stay strong.
Can I
stay
give
Spurs.
a...
We will
stay
see you guys.
Spurs.
Steak.
Can you what?
Steak.
Next time.
Can I just give a big shout out to the Spurs ladies who are over in America on the 14th to the 20th of August in Louisville, Kentucky. They're playing in the tournament over there, and that's my ex-team. So I want to give them a big shout out and good luck to the ladies.
Yep, big up to the Spurs ladies. Why did they pick Louisville, Kentucky, though? That's like the worst city you could pick. Like, you're going...
I know, they shouldn't have picked that city. Because can't be choosers.
Yeah, they go to a soccer-friendly city like Kansas City, Chicago, Atlanta, New York, California. Louisville, Kentucky.
I'll email them.
I mean, it's not a small city. It's like a million.
Change the destination.
It's like 1 million or 2 population, but it's a small. It's
sports country, basketball country over there.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird. It's not like when you think of football or soccer in the United States, you don't think Louisville, Kentucky, right?
Yeah.
Columbus, Cincinnati, Orlando, Miami, Atlanta,
Salt Lake.
Kansas City, Salt Lake. St. Louis, Seattle.
I'll get on to the PR people over there.
Louisville, Kentucky is not one. But
okay, I'll tell them, Will. I'll tell them.
But we will be back on Friday for everybody. Make sure that you guys. Oh, there's Aaron Dubs. He's got his stuff sorted back out. And then we will be back for that. Stay strong. Stay Spurs.
Stay steaky.
We will see you guys next time.